We are back, folks. Thank you for joining us. Three Scoundrels in a Cantina. As always, Old Man Logan 76 here at your service to talk about the latest and greatest in SWGOH. And with me, as always, is Avant and Bob. Real quick, we will turn over to them, but I did want to just put in a note. I value everyone that supports and listens to this show, but if you would please keep your son in my thoughts. He actually took off from Fort Drum today. He's in Germany right now on a 2.5-hour layover, and then his final destination will be Kuwait, where he stays there for 6 days, and then he's on embassy duty in Baghdad, and he'll be there for 9 months. So always support your veterans, love your veterans, appreciate your veterans, keep my son in your thoughts. I, again, appreciate everybody, and I did say something in general chat. He deployed. I was, as a parent, I had a moment and I vented, and I appreciate everybody that responded. But that being said, the show must go on. So, Three Scoundrels in Cantina, here we are. Avant, Bob, introduce our guest, and how are you? Oh, and by the way, we could not have the more perfect guest for what is the big topic for this evening.
I'm doing the intro. You were doing great.
Yeah, I did. I said my piece. It's the ball's in your court.
For sure. I've been thinking about trying to get a Ranger on for the last few weeks. We've just been busy, but yeah, former tester of the game, OG, been around since day one, right, man?
Yep.
But yeah, Ranger. What's up, man? Thank you for coming on the show. How you doing?
Glad to be here. Fully recovered. First, it was recovering from Vegas. Then I got food poisoning, and now I'm back into my normal routine. So good to be back in normalcy.
Oh,
shit, man! That does not sound.
Y'all gonna have to pay me to do some shoeies. That's not how that works. I don't do free shoeies. Y'all lick my ass.
I've watched this man do several shoeies. I know that's not
record. I've tied it twice, 35 in one night. So
just doesn't look good.
Are you getting sponsored by Foster's back there?
No, I would want to, man. I hate those condoms.
Should be.
It looked like Post Malone with his Bud Light vending machine.
I got it. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, it's it's the life we live. This life chose me. I didn't choose this life.
Well, brother, it's good having you on here, man. We appreciate your time as always, and we got a lot of drama going on, so it's going to be a good show, I think.
Nah, it's a quiet night. Nothing really going on.
No, nothing going on. No, Ranger, we definitely appreciate.
Move along.
Yeah, move along.
Nothing to see here. Move along, guys.
Yeah, Ranger had been at one point was the old man's cantina, and now he's back, and I'm psyched. So, damn, Avant, what do you got going on?
Oh man, it's been a long week at work, so happy to talk some SWGOH tonight. Should be riveting.
Oh, indeed, to say the least. So that being said, we all know what happened today.
Nothing happened today?
We all know it dropped. We all know what lovely event that we got a road ahead on with this long sales pitch of a meta-defining unit that was going to handle Profundity and Executor. So Leviathan, it's here. So out of the four of us, Bob, we love you. We're sorry. 3 of us got it. Let's dive right into it, folks. I want to start with our guest, Ranger. Hi. As always, man. Leviathan, first impressions, thoughts, opinions. What's going on with this?
Well, I have a different perspective. It may shock you. 7 stars. This ship is OP as fucking hell. Okay. I have it at 7 stars. I'm in my shard with a bunch of people that do fleet shard. I'm sitting at number 1. I told my shard to have at thee because I don't know how it's going to hold on defense. However, I tested. Now, I'm going to put some caveats. There's some shit I am definitely going to go off on here. But at 7 stars, the ship is incredible. Okay. I took on a bunch of executors today. I fucked up a couple of them. One, I fucked up so bad I got my capital ship exploded and still kicked the shit out of the fleet. Like, they couldn't do anything to me. I just sat there, was like, I'm not dying. In fact, I'm getting all my health and protection back. Oh, this is incredible. And just wasted them. Profundity on offense. It's auto. I mean, it's a nuke. It's straight up because the way it's designed, as soon as they start attacking you, they are, especially with the Sith Empire bomber in there, they're immediately getting dazed to death, and they're getting like 8, 9, thermals on them. And I have both my specials on turn 1, and so I'm just hitting reinforcement. So as soon as Biggs comes in or whatever, it's instantly dead. Next turn, do the next one, and they don't get any reinforcements. Their ship can't use any ability. In 3 turns, I'm an ultimate. It's just kicking the snot out of Profundity. I've had no problems on offense. Executor's a little bit more difficult, but it's more about just because of the way that plays, it's just a little differently. But I'm still not having problems with the Executor, although Executor is going to be a little bit more of a challenge because of the tenacity up that Executor has at the beginning. But at 7 stars, you get all that ferocity that overcompensates. So you just build up, keep their reinforcement coming in, because that's the first one. I do the first one, get the cooldown on the ultimate, and then do the second one. And by that time, because the tenacity's off, you just start ramping and just start destroying them. Now, there's much more testing that needs to be done. It's still early stages. And I don't know how well it is on defense, because I've watched the AI play this on defense, and it does some stupid things. And there are some bugs associated with it. So I don't know how well it's going to hold up on defense. It's been mixed bag early days, early hours still with this ship. So we'll see what happens. I'll see tonight how it goes. Who hits me, who doesn't, who even wants to try to hit me, those kind of things. I know Karth was trying to hit with some of the fleets earlier, trying to hit it, and was not having much success, but I'll get some more impact from him. That being said, this ship sucks not at 7 stars. The more
I will
watching,
attest to that.
Yeah, I watched Scribe struggle today. We actually did a back-to-back comparison. The ship at 6 stars taking on Profundity and getting destroyed, and me at 7 stars doing the opposite and destroying the Profundity like it was nothing. I could have put on auto and just walked away. That's how night and day difference it is. So definitely 5 and 6 stars. The ship is not where it needs to be. The event itself was fine. Actually, I was really happy with the event. Other than the tier 4 fight, which is really awful.
Yeah.
You just have to get the right RNG. And yeah. But other than that, the actually, once you just start farming the ship, you can just put on auto. I'm serious. You can just put on auto. It'll take care of itself. I didn't do one battle that wasn't on auto today for the 20 fights that I did with the crystals. So that's actually really nice.
Did you mess around? Did you mess around and do any like 4 or 5 star testing, or did you just take it straight up?
I took it straight up because I was like, there's going to be other people that were going to do it. I knew some people that were going to be doing, content creator stuff that were going to do that. I'm like, there's no point for me to do that. Let me just take it to 7. I said I was going to take it to 7. I want to take it to max because I really, really didn't want to fart around with this thing too much today outside of 7 stars, because that's just was my mentality. And I knew Scribe and other people were, wasn't sure if they were going to get it 7, but I did know that they were going to have it lesser stars, at least 6. Scribe had it at 6, and that's a big problem because it does say in the post that this is supposed to be the meta ship, but they're being shitty about this. They're being very shitty about this because, unlike Profundity when it came out last year, that sucker at 4 and 5 stars was doing the Lord's work, right?
Yeah.
And it still does the Lord's work. I mean, I've been in GAC where I've taken on a 5-star Profundity. If you get the wrong RNG, it'll nuke you, right? Especially on a mirror match, or with Executor and stuff. This ship just does not, because of the way they've stacked the abilities. 6-star and below, you don't get that extra ferocity, which makes a ginormous difference in the fight. With that ferocity, you're getting to your abilities faster, and you're doing insane damage. And you're also, because of that, the ship's abilities allow you to survive big hits. So if Executor goes first, I don't give a shit because I'm just beefy. It's like, who hit whoever, I don't care, because I'm like, I'm going to take the hits, do my thing, and then my turn, So, so I can see why and it's justified from the community why they're so pissed. Because this ship is not meta at 5 and 6 stars at all. It's not even close. Mixed bags. Some people are saying they can beat Executive Profundity. I think that's the case, but you have to have the right RNG. We still have to play around with it a little bit more, but it's really getting its ass kicked. It's either feast or famine. And for a ship that requires this amount of relics, 2 relic 9s, 5 relic 7s, and a partridge in a pear tree, that ain't good, especially when you have basically you had to hoard, spend, or get 25,000 crystals to take it to 7 stars. But let's say you just, the price tag is incredible, right? Just to get the thing unlocked. To do the event's fine. I don't have a problem with the event. It's easy, but
I got a little frustrated on tier 4, but like once I figured out the starting lineup and
that's what it is.
And then I waited for the right RNG. I beat it, but it was just a matter of like I was running the wrong lineup.
So day 1, is it running as it should?
No idea.
No, I don't. From some of the things I've heard and a few things that I've read. It's just like in my ship chart alone, I've caught some messages where and again, this isn't gospel. This is some other people's experiences. Maybe it happened, maybe it didn't. I don't know. But there's been a couple instances where days is not being applied. And a couple of battles, there's a bit of sometimes I guess I've heard that there's a ferocity issue. My biggest issue with the fleet is just it's a lack of damage. But I will say the survivability of the fleet is outrageous.
Well, I did
this thing all day.
I did 2 fleet battles in my climb today with a 4-star. One of them I went against, actually both of them I went against a 7-star Profundity. One of them I timed out. And the other one I lost with like 2 minutes to go. Profundity got to ultimate and then they just nuked me. So I just climbed with my own Profundity today.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I didn't rush to do this day 1. So now the second time around it'll all be smoothed out and I'll have it unlocked.
Yeah. There's also a bug where you can target the
capital ship
and you can nuke the capital ship with the interceptor, which is pretty funny.
That is pretty funny.
So how do you do that? Like, how do you even know if you can do that?
Well, you call in the reinforcement and you can target, and it's just by accident someone found it because I was watching the AI. The other ships are doing it too, where I was like, Sith fighter, did you just shoot the goddamn capital ship? Don't do that. Attack the other thing, you dummy. So yeah, so there's definitely bugs with it.
There is.
So there's the days things. I've seen that too because I've seen some thermals go off, and I'm like, shouldn't you be dazed, asshole?
Yeah, I noticed that too. Like that, I was questioning that, and I don't know. I also unlocked it at 7. I've got it. I did notice with the Profundity though, the lineup is the lineup and the lineup is what it is. We all know what it is so far. The reinforcements is what I kind of, at least what I had success with. I brought in Sith Fighter first.
Oh, I didn't. I brought in Scimitar.
Sith Fighter was my first reinforcement because on its basic, it applies healing immunity. So I bring that in. Your next reinforcement, when you're able to do so after you've done all the other abilities, was the Mark 6 Interceptor. At that point, the battle has gone on long enough, and you get that insta-kill every time. And that gets rid of the Falcon, and after you do that, the Profundity falls like a lawn chair.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm using Scimitar. I'm not even using Sith Fighter. I'm using Scimitar and just the Fury. I'm not even bringing the other ships in. Standard lineup with the Bomber, the Dorito, and what's his nuts?
Malgus's.
Yeah.
I was starting
Fury,
with Malgus, the
Dorito, and
the Fury class Interceptor.
Fury class Interceptor, and that thing will hold its own against any fleet. But yeah, I'm not. leaving Sith Fighter off, because the thing too with the AI that's really interesting on defense, and I'm testing this out with my fleet, is that the Mark 6 is low priority.
It is.
And it's and I know why they're doing it. The basic is not a priority when it comes in. It's choosing its first two specials because it's trying to keep that ship from coming in second, or first off the alignment and get up that big hit off against you, so you can try to take it on in mirror matches. However, what I'm hearing in mirror matches is that it's a coin flip again.
It is.
That sucks.
It does.
Because
I've done a few. That fight it's who goes first. If you don't go first, you're not going to win it.
Until Relic 10.
Oh God.
Nice, Bob.
Can someone mute him?
Avant, do the punch thing. He's actually to my right, your left.
I can never remember. No, he's over here.
I'll try to get like something where you can do that to me. But yeah, what do you think, Avant? What do you think about the gold levy?
I took it to 4, and I used all of my crystals basically to unlock the ship, and I was gonna buy crystals to take it to 5, and I'm just gonna wait.
Which is a big deal, right? Because you don't spin very often, correct? So that's kind of money they're losing, because you're willing to do it.
Unless they change the ship abilities to make it better before it's at 7 stars, I'm just gonna have to hoard up enough crystals and then get it all at once. But I'm gonna spend $0 if it stays like this.
So can we definitively say that this is bugged? This is not working as intended?
Too early.
No idea. I don't have it.
It would be nice if CG would communicate.
Yeah.
They already put out something about, we'll fix the fact that it's destroying the capital ship with a reinforcement. They did mention that, but so far nothing else. They got to give it more time. They got to let it go for a day or two.
Part of me thinks they enjoy, I feel like they are watching the dumpster fire from behind the fence, peering up and over, and they're just watching and enjoying it a little bit. I don't know. I feel like they have to know, right?
That could be, but the biggest pressure on CG is going to be that if it needs a fix, it needs to be done before the next GAC lock.
Well, if you remember, Executor came out, and then they changed the mechanics of the Executor, and I feel like they might do something like that. It could be, I don't know anything about game design and how to make kits and how to code it and stuff, but it could be as simple as moving up the abilities to tier 5 or I don't know what tier it is, but let's say you get the ship to 5 stars and that unlocks the better abilities, and then 6 star and 7 star gives you more damage. They just move, take the very last ability and move it up 2 lines in the kit so that it's accessed earlier instead of just getting it at 7 stars.
Well, then what's the incentive for people to get to 7 stars? See, that's the thing that CG's trying to do. If you want the ship to be great, you got to pay the piper, which...
Yeah. I mean, I respect that if that's the move they make, that I don't spend money. So I don't expect to be given anything.
That's the thing, right? So, but I mean, if you have people that are getting it at 5 and 6 stars that put off other farms and everything like this, and it's just crap, you have to do something, because I'm reading the forums and I'm reading everything. Of course, the loudest voices are always the ones you hear, right?
Sure.
But from everything I'm hearing, seeing from everybody that has the Leviathan, they're grossly disappointed in it. Well, even people at 7 stars, or there's a mixed bag with that, and that's not a good thing for CG.
I think my biggest criticism is that at 4, 5, and 6 stars, it shouldn't be struggling against weaker fleets.
Yeah.
Right? You shouldn't be able to take Holdo and beat and beat Leviathan, right? I mean, I told you so.
I couldn't believe I couldn't believe I saw that. I could not believe I watched that.
And
Well,
what's-
negotiators are and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it's not so much that they're beating them, but it's like the ship can't reciprocate what those ships are doing to it at that level, right? So
Yeah.
because a 4 or 5 star profundity is going to struggle mightily against those fleets, especially like a negotiator, because you just can't amp damage. And without the damage on that fleet, you don't have an ultimate to get rid of the profundity or an executor where you get rid of the capital ship and you get all these bonuses even at lower stars, right? So you're just stuck there with this ship that, but you disabled it, you took it over, but if you can't kill the other ships, which has happened tremendously with profundity, you're going to time out. And that's the problem with this fleet. It's just it doesn't pack enough damage without the bonuses from the capital ship, and you don't get those until you get the 7 stars. So it's one of those things where CG's trying to force the issue here. It's like if you want meta, you have to have the thing maxed out. But on the other hand, it should still be somewhat viable. I don't think it should be dominating, but it should still be able to take out other fleets. Probably really susceptible to being beaten on defense too, but you're usually not going to use a ship like that on defense anyway. You're going to keep it for offense. But it should be like Profundity and Executor, where they could come in at 4 or 5 stars and do some good work against the lower ships, and that's just
be a difference maker.
Yeah, and it's not the case. I've seen it time and time again. These fights where it's like, from the anecdotal evidence, it's like, damn, really? You struggle against that fleet? It's like, It's like, okay. And that's on offense where you're controlling and not the AI and things of that nature. It's still early days, right? We still have to give it some time, and people will figure out what the meta is actually going to be. Although I don't think it's going to change much from what the current lineup is, but you never know with the community.
I just feel like they'll probably find more ways to beat it, right? As time goes, yeah.
Well, as time goes on, there's going to be more theory crafting, and people are going to figure shit out.
Yeah.
Ranger, do you think a safe case with the fact that the poor performance below 7 star for this ship, that if some people want to counter profundity, they're better off sticking with the Tarkin route? Tarkin with the Sith ships was beating it, and it was cleaner.
Yeah, I mean, I was using that in I used it in GAC today. I went in there and used Tarkin with the Sith ships, before the event. I would say until you're ready to 7-star Leviathan, you're better off with Tarkin and the Sith, the Sith fleet as another fleet. It's just until I can get more information otherwise, I just don't think Leviathan on defense or offense at 5 or 6 stars is viable in GAC, TW. And I'm really worried about TB because you know how those fights are in the dark side fights. Now I think a 7-star Leviathan will kick the crap out of it. That being said, I think a 5 or a 6 star.
See, man,
Why do you have to be 7 stars to do it? I believe.
Oh, it doesn't. Yeah, so it doesn't matter. So I think, but if that fleet gets destroyed in dark side for TB, hell's really gonna go.
Oh no, I agree.
Because then that's
yeah. I feel for the players that, because again, for these requirements, you're asking the player base to fork up 2 Relic 9s for this. And let's say you've got a player that did that. They busted their ass. They farmed. They got 2 Relic 9s. They're not a huge spender, but, they do spend a little bit here and there. They can't afford to bring this ship to 7-star. They put in all this investment, and it performs like that, less than 7-star. That is kind of shitty to the, mid, possibly moving to late. Because, I'm sorry, 2 Relic 9s, that's not easy. So I feel some sort of, I don't know, a buff, something. Again, I completely agree. We should probably give it a couple more days, see what the data gives us offensively, defensively. But it's not what was advertised. Again, it's early, but initial impression is, wait, what?
Yeah, not the way they word it. See, this is the problem with CG is they word things the way they do, like they did in the road ahead about this fleet. And when they underdeliver like this, it leaves a really bad taste in the community's mouth because it's not the first time that they've underdelivered. Executor was the same way. I don't think people remember. I think Avant, you brought that up about Executor. Executor came out. It was it needed some loving, you know.
Yeah, people were nuking it, and they were like, no.
Yeah. With some really not so good fleets. And so I think they will look at it before GAC on next week. Will they have a fix in or changes in? Depends. I don't think it's going to happen that fast.
I would rather them take their time and put in a good fix if they're going to fix it, rather than try to rush it in before a GAC lock. Like, I'm cool with them taking 2 or 3 weeks to figure it out, rather than rush some like half-assed fix in just for the next GAC lock.
I agree with that, but I feel at 7-star offensively, that is a nice tool to have in the toolbox.
Yeah, it'll be nice for me. I mean, because it'll kill anything.
Yeah,
on offense, it will kick the shit out of anything. I was blown away, especially on that executor fight. I'm like, oh, I messed up. Oh, there goes my capital ship. And won easily. I was like, Dan, you can mess up with this fleet and still kick ass. So, but yeah. But on defense, I'm hearing profanities or because the players playing and the AI plays stupid that it's not doing very well against profanity. So yeah, it can't perform like this. Not with, especially if anybody that got it 7 stars and profanities beating the shit out of it. That's unacceptable.
I agree.
It's supposed to be a meta shit. You put the word meta in there, CG. So that means it should be the top of the heap. And I'm not saying it should just be fully dominant because we don't want to have that kind of situation, right? But you've got to give, if profundity beat it 65-75% of the time and had a 35-40% loss rate, that would be okay with me because, it is an RNG game and I'm okay with that. And it's not like it's losing to, say, Negotiator or Hold. It's losing to the last meta fleet, but not consistently. And it's really difficult, but it still should be able to be beaten. But I don't know what they're testing over there. I don't know what they are looking at because how does this happen? Because this is the thing. You can look at the 5 and 6 star. That's its own separate issue on testing. Like, how good is the ship at 5 and 6 stars? But at 7 stars, how do you not know how this ship is going to handle defense with these other fleets if you're saying this is the meta fleet? Like, I don't understand what the hell they do sometimes over there. For the most part, lately it's been really solid. There's been less bugs, and they've been doing really, really strong. I mean, Cal was really good. The event was really good. The other characters, the characters have been fantastic. I don't know what it is about ships. They just seem to have their head in the clouds when it comes to ship, and with testing ships, they just seem like it's like dark. It's Mr. Heckle. It's like Heckle and Jekyll and Hyde. Yeah, it's one of those things. I can't even speak. I'm just so frustrated. Like, this can't happen every time a new fleet comes in where it's underperforming, it's not working as intended, it's buggy as hell, especially with your track record of late where all these other characters and stuff you've been bringing in been pretty damn good.
Rex is outstanding. Captain Rex is outstanding.
Yeah, but
absolutely.
But for 2 R9s, 7 R7s, the rest R5s, it was steep. And it definitely, for the work you have to put in, should be better than what you're getting.
Oh, it was a resource drain to be sure.
Oh, I'm fully drained.
Yeah.
I'm down. Yeah, I'm drained, and luckily I've got most of what I'm just now working on the new requirements for GLA. So, but I've got plenty of time for that, and I'm in no rush for that. So, but I can see people, this is a resource management game. Some people that are Krakens, they don't care, right? They're going to get the new shiny. Your Wells are going to get mostly the new shinies when they come out if they want to, but they'll pick and choose. A lot of your player base, especially your veteran players, will be specific about sporting crystals and saving and being specific about who they go for. And they'll skip things. Like, they'll skip Tuscans and they'll skip Zori. Hell, they even skip some of Cal, put Cal off a little bit because Fleet's where it's at. And the big thing about Fleet, there's still crystals associated with this. This has a
Mhm.
huge impact on people counting on this. They make the investment so that they can keep up with their crystals in Arena. And for you to shit the bed on that is not a good look, and it pisses people off. And you can't do that in this game. This has got to be thoroughly more tested and really understood. I don't know who's testing over there when it comes to shit, but this is completely just ass backwards. It's really frustrating.
Because you should feel rewarded for going for the newest thing.
This is why I thought Ranger was the perfect guest for tonight. This is why this worked out just absolutely brilliantly.
I've been down
Crafting-
this road so many times, man, with CG.
Crafting Way says in chat, a pre-GL Leia resource drain.
That's exactly what it is.
Of course, of course it is.
It's the same thing they did with Profundity last year before Jabba. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the same. They're on the same cadence as they
The
were
same
last.
case, yeah.
So there's no difference. I knew that ahead of a time. So luckily I planned ahead, but I skipped some stuff. I skipped Tusken Chieftain, and I was like, nope. Sorry, no. Cal, yes. Definitely want Cal. I'm very happy with Cal. Cal's been amazing. I used him
See,
in
Ranger, I put Cal on the back burner.
Yeah, see, I was lucky I didn't have to do
this.
that. And
I did
my
it for this.
God, Mr. Gingivitis is something special. Let me put
I
it
know.
that way.
And I
is
have
amazing.
the other two characters you mentioned. I have them. I got those too. Cal was just something that I don't know. I should have known better, but the Omicrons were
it's
all not GAs, and I wasn't buying it. I wasn't buying it. And now I'm kicking. Am I kicking myself? Yeah. But I still think Leviathan is a worthy investment. I mean, yeah, it as long as they make a change, those that did what Avant did, hopefully this investment pays off. I mean, it's better to have it than to not have it. It's another viable fleet.
Yeah, as a player who really calculates resources and how I spend them, I feel slightly let down. But I mean, my level of my ability to complain is very little because of the fact I don't spend. So I get that.
I think you have a right to complain even if you don't spend, because you're still playing a time. Your time is just as valuable as money spent, and
Absolutely.
and your effort and what you do, and to that means just as much to me as people that spend money to not spend the time. Because
on the flip side, I would have spent, and I was ready to spend like $25 to $50, but now I'm not going to spend $150 to take it to 7. It just doesn't. That's not worth it.
Not worth it. No, save your crystals. Wait till the event comes back next month. Save your crystals. Have enough to do, the battles to, and then the extra crystals just to do those refreshes to take it to 7 stars and be done with it.
If they don't change anything about the mechanics and how the kit is, I will probably try to get it within like 2 or 3 months to 7 stars. And I'm cool with that. But if they do change the mechanics of it, I might be inclined to bump it to get that boost, but to get it all the way to 7, for me, like the style of play that I am, I'll wait.
It's not worth it. I mean, as good as it is, I've talked about it being on offense, and it is exceptional on offense. It'll kill anything. It's not very good on defense. So it's not worth it, in my opinion, to spend your crystals like to rush for it. If you want to do it over time, sure. Again, be subject to change, because they could make some changes to the kit, and then and then we'll be like, yeah, you better go get it, which I expect them to do. But again, that's for the future. Right now, we're talking about what we're dealing with right now, and right now, at 5 and 6 stars for those that are just joining us, the ship is shit at 5 and 6, 4, 5, and 6. Don't bother.
Yeah, and so in chat, Herfadurfa says, so far Leviathan is doing nothing that Tarkin wasn't, which is all the more reason to slow roll it, because if you can get the same effect with another capital ship that you possibly were not using, then why would you spend 25,000 crystals if you could just make it work as like a someone who's not gonna cracken out on stuff,
No, it's not worth it, guys. I mean, I took it to 7 stars because I planned to take it to 7 stars. I'm very happy with it on offense. I got to see how it holds on defense, and I'll get some testing done tonight because my shard will attack it. and see how it is. I'll know how pretty much I kind of know how the mirror matches are. It's a coin flip, and that sucks, and that's unacceptable. But from what I'm gathering, Profundity is still kicking the crap out of it because you can overcome how the AI plays and dominate it. And that just can't be a thing. It cannot be a thing with the new meta fleet that the old meta can kick the crap out of it.
Yeah,
in my opinion, don't spend money. And if you have got a 5 or 6 star ships, my heart goes out to you. Hopefully they make some changes here to help you guys that have unlocked the ship, but it's just sitting there doing not a goddamn thing for you. All we can do is wait to see CG's response and or changes. And that's where we're at right now. We're in the lurch. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I finished my payout at first, and within hour and a half, I was in 14. So yeah, it was getting had. So, but then again, like the first 8 people in my shard all have it. So I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. Well, okay.
Yeah. I know a bunch of my people in my shard unlocked it, but only me and another guy that I know of took it to 7 stars. Everybody else, a lot of people unlocked it and have it 5 or 6, but they're like, yeah,
there's like 8 or 9 Leviathans in my shards. 6 of them are 7-star.
Yeah.
That's not including me.
Someone just hit me. Shit. Yeah. So they're going to have to do something drastic quickly because the community is pretty outraged right now.
And now that you've said that, to kind of wrap this topic up before we have to move on to the next one, just to throw it out to the panel, what do you guys think? And I thought about this kind of, after a while of reading everything and kind of soaking all this in. Is like, I know there's a lot of outrage, but I don't feel like this should be a huge shock. Something comes out not really working as intended, seems like it wasn't thoroughly tested. I mean, I already said on the show in past episodes, I'm putting this into 7-star and that's it. I did it. And you know what? I went into this thinking this may end up being a lemon at first. I mean, offensively, yes, it can fuck up some shit. Defensively, it's got some issues. But
hey,
is any of this a surprise?
Hey, I have something to remind you real quick. You said after Leviathan, you'd go on a free-to-play run. Remember? Is this still up for grabs?
Dude, I was going to bring that up later.
Oh, sorry. Spoiler alert. Keep going. I'll just shut up.
And he brought up a sore subject. I was doing like a month or 2 free-to-play pledge just so I could see what it's like to be a free-to-play person, but that was before GeoLea was announced. You're putting me in a bad corner, Bones. I don't like this.
Guess how it feels? It feels really good, as I'm going to get Leviathan, but probably the second time around, and I get to laugh at you guys that spin on it.
Well, I saved up my crystals, so I mean, I spent a little bit of money today, but nothing that I didn't already have planned for. So, but for those that had to panic farm, spend, that sucks. To get.
Yeah, it does.
It's I'm not shocked.
Is any of this a shock to anyone?
No, none of this shit shocks me anymore. It's just more of just frustration. I'm just tired of this shit. I'm just tired of this stuff happening. This company's been coming on 8 years. This can't be that's not a good look for a company. Any company, let alone a gaming company, when we've had this happen more times than not, especially with ships. It's becoming a little bit of a running joke. And as a developer or anybody that does this game, you should take that as a hit. I don't care if it offends you or not. You do better. If we're going to spend money and spend, like I did, hours today farming the goddamn thing, I expect, and you expect me to use it, I expect a quality product. That's not an unreasonable expectation on my part, It doesn't matter whether someone saved up the crystals and then used them all or spent some money on it or not. We're all in the same boat. We all got the product. We expect the product to be good, if not great. I'll take good. I expect great, but I'll take good. This isn't even good. It's okay. And that's not something that we can have for a ship like this.
So
Relic Knives.
one of my guildmates shared something in our Discord. He shared a Simpsons meme, and I swear I've seen this meme for like 7 different things that have dropped in the game. It says "Say the line," and then it's got Bart Simpson with his head down, and he's CG, and then the whole classroom says Leviathan is not performing as expected. Like how many drops in game have we had them come out and just be like, this is not performing as expected. We're investigating this, right?
Yeah.
Well, also, it's not an independent game. It's not like it's a small thing. It's made billions of dollars over its run. So there's, by this point, 7 years later, they should be able to kind of narrow down the mistakes a little bit.
Billions.
Yeah, $1 billion.
I mean, narrow down. I honestly, I think this is just a lack of testing. There's no way that they had a group of people actually really play with this and go, oh yeah, this is meta. Yeah, good. Yeah, put this out.
Well, I think what they did is this is what it feels like. They tested it on offense. Right? They tested on offense. And, this thing at 7 stars is amazing. And then didn't do anything else.
Pretty much.
That's what it feels like. I mean, I don't know how you miss these, obvious things. It's like it dominates an offense. Great. What about defense? Right. See, what had happened was,
and that's an AI issue because the AI does not work the way you would want that.
You just need somebody for an hour just to put that ship in and the other ship in and hit auto and see what the AI does. That's it. That's all you got to do for an hour or two. And just run that over. I'm not talking about running some goddamn algorithm or simulation. I mean, actually sit there and watch it in the test environment and see what happens. Because that's what I used to do as a beta tester. I would sit there and bring all this shit in there. Like, okay, here's the new latest GL. Let me run it against all the other GLs and see what happens. And then and figure it out from there and send my notes in.
It's a groundbreaking concept.
I know, it's crazy. I mean, I know I'm speaking craziness here tonight, folks. But that's what this feels like. I mean, I was thinking about this earlier. I was like, what does this feel like for the testing? I think they just tested on offense. It kicks the shit out of stuff at 7 stars.
7-starred.
And didn't bother with thinking about how this was going to interact with the community at just unlock or 5 or 6. Because they should know by now that there's going to be people that can't literally unlock it at 7 stars. And they can make the response, well, we meant for this to work at 7 stars. Yeah, but it should be so shitty at the other ones. And I don't think anybody here is asking for it to be world beater, but they're asking for it to be good, and it ain't even good. It's shite at 5 and 6. You can win, but you better hope and pray and sacrifice a couple chickens to RNG Jesus and the Illuminati that you get the right RNG, or you're going to time out, or you're just going to flat out lose. Someone today lost in like less than 2 minutes against Profundity with a 5-6 star Leviathan. Just got destroyed because the RNG just nuked them immediately. So yeah.
So what are you unlocking in level 7 that's making it so much better?
It's a couple things. So the abilities. So what happens is the ships, because of the ferocity that's being added, if you look at the final tiers of a lot of the abilities, you get that extra opening tenacity and or ferocity. So it ramps up the ships. It ramps up their survivability and it ramps up their damage. Yeah. So you're doing both, and it also sets it up where the capital ship is going right into its abilities immediately. So you're immediately taking it out for the ultimate and hitting the hangar, and then you're going right into its ultimate as well. So it's like night and day. I mean, it really is. I did on Skystream the damage he was doing and struggling against Profundity, and me, where I'm just like, I knew as soon as I hit the button, I'm like, I win. I knew immediately. I was like, yep. Barring some craziness, and I've been trying it. It's an I win button. But then on defense, I'm seeing that I just lost to a Profundity on defense. So I had a sneaky suspicion people are going to be hitting mine today with Profundity. I'm like, okay, ship sucks on defense, and that's not good.
Nope.
So they do it in this game as well, but in Marvel Strike Force also. They do things where this team is only good on, Guild Wars defense or only good on Guild Wars offense. Do you think they might be going for something like that where it might be amazing, but it's only for offense? And maybe you can now put maybe you can make your defense a little bit better because you now have a better offensive weapon. Do you think it'd be something like that, or just they effed up?
I don't think they think that deeply.
I don't think so either. And if that's the case, then why not say that?
That's true, and that's where they F up the most. If they would just literally say the minimum and not, I think they might get too excited about things or something. But I think they even used decimated in capital letters, didn't they? They said it was going to decimate the competition.
On offense, so far.
On offense, sure.
Yeah.
So if they would just hold back, and they could be just really excited about it, right? But they got to hold back because then it just builds up expectations. And
that road ahead, they didn't say jack shit about what they like. If you park it at the gas station, it'll hold its own. Never said anything like that.
Why would they say that?
Are we like?
Please explain that reference to me.
Well, you're on defense. Park at the gas station. You're not doing shit. You're in dry dock.
Gotcha.
It sucks on D. I mean, for all we know, it could be that ultimate weapon that we have in GAC or in TB or maybe TW.
Incoming ship Omicron ability.
Oh God!
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Don't.
Don't.
Oh Lordy!
I'd rather.
Okay, cut that part out of the podcast.
But the only thing with that is, if the ship is like the ultimate offensive weapon, if you face somebody in GAC who has it and it's at 7-star, then you know what they're going to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And decide to put a different ship on defense, then I mean, it's pinning you in the same corner. You have it, your opponent has it. Now it's just a play of who does what with it.
Now it's a banner game, right?
Yeah, it doesn't really change anything. The fact that it doesn't have any viability on defense, if it had more viability on defense, it would open more avenues of approach and different strategies for GAC. But
It doesn't.
It's just an offensive powerhouse. It's not multifaceted. It's a one-trick pony. It does one thing.
Yeah.
And that's it.
If they had said the Leviathan, the newest capital ship from Capital Gains, it'll be a devastatingly powerful offensive fleet for you. That'll be the new meta, blah, blah, blah. That would have worked for me a little bit. Then I would have been like, okay, not going to be so good on defense, but okay. Then the expectations are, do I want to go for it? How good is it going to be? That kind of thing. But they don't want to do that. They hide it with ambiguity where you're just sitting there going, well, they said it's going to be the meta. I better get that or I'm going to get hosed, especially if you're at the top of the spear, and that's what they do. They do that shit all the time. So yeah, they got some work to do over there at CG. There's nothing, there is nothing more that needs to be said on this. I think we got to see what they're going to do. They better respond, and they better respond as quickly as they can. Although I don't want them to rush. I agree with Avant, that they need a.
We're going to storm the bridge. And we're going to fuck you.
Right here, kill me. No, you can't. You suck.
We're going to get the pump. Because when I get the pump, we're going to storm the bridge and fuck you.
Oh, God. Jesus.
Oh, my God. We had Sternbach on for like 10 seconds. And
he did jump, but he's gone.
Dylan, come back.
He stormed the bridge, and then he left.
He did. He stormed the fucking bridge.
Way to go, guy. You did a great job. You worked hard. You did.
So before we move on to the next topic, holy shit, anybody have any final thoughts on this and what they'd like to say to the community, whoever may listen to this, about the Leviathan?
I said my piece.
To the community, wait on it. Wait a bit.
I'm not going to beat a dead horse. I feel like we've driven this one into the ground.
It's glue right now.
And this conversation will be outdated in like 3 days when they fix it.
I know, right?
Yeah, right. Probably actually will be.
So moving on, the next biggest thing I want to talk about was an actual positive thing from CG was they did a little survey, and it's the first survey I even cared about actually taking part in, and it asked us what characters we wanted to bring to the game and things like that. So I thought it was kind of cool. So I just want to kind of go around and say, what did you guys pick? Because that's been a big subject as well through the community, like what everyone picked in general.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, that's true.
Ranger, what about you, man?
Haven't filled it out yet. I'm very was asked to do it today. I'll probably do it tomorrow. I felt for a long time that CG doesn't listen to us. They're going to just do what the hell they want anyway. I've been somewhat a little bit more positive on some of the feedback and the changes that they've done in the game. So I've seen the questionnaire, some of it, and some of the questions like what GL do you want, that kind of thing. I think the community mainly is, with I've heard a lot about GL Darth Revan, that kind of thing. So I don't know. I feel like CG listens, they hear what they want to hear. So you can feel that out, and I think it's cool. But at the end of the day, I know how I've seen how the bread's made a little bit in the background and stuff. So feedback is good, but I don't know. Give your feedback. I think it's always good to voice your concerns and your feedback and stuff. But they stopped talking to me and a lot of the other content creators a while ago, like just ghosted us. And so I really don't have. I mean, I use my bully pulpit to say how I feel. They can listen or not, but I don't really feel like giving them any more extra time like I used to when I was a beta tester and all that other stuff. So for me, it's like, yeah, you've got enough. You've getting your pound of flesh from me. I've served my time and.
Sir, you did your time. Yep.
So
what's kind of sad is I've tested other hero collectors, like Dragon Champions back when it was a thing and things like that, and all these games or developers kind of treat their content creators like shit.
Yeah.
This is free advertisement, and even if you have 500 subscribers or something, that's still free advertisement that you take out of your day that you do for free, right? And this is just in general. I just feel like they treat the content creators like shit. And so, I mean, a lot of us, like I said, we're busy as it is. We work full-time jobs, and people who do YouTube and everything, it takes even longer to edit down videos and make it look all pretty and nice and all that stuff. So I feel bad for all you guys, and I understand because of the leaks and everything. But I mean, what do you even? What do you do?
Yeah, but you don't do anything. I mean. It's not. I was fine with the beta program ending, and it deserved to go because of the leaks. I was upset about it, when that happened.
Yeah,
but I've reached out a couple times, got nothing. Not even, hey, how are you doing? That kind of thing. It's like, oh, okay, well, fuck you too. So I mean, I'm not gonna go. I'll do the survey because I promised, and I'm a man of my word. And I'll give good feedback. I always give constructive feedback, negative and positive when I do it. But, I just don't think it's reciprocated. So for me, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth,
Sure. So do you think it's just they have an idea in mind and they want to ask the community and see if it kind of verifies what they're thinking kind of thing? Or it doesn't necessarily going to, like you said, not necessarily listen to us, but they have an idea of which way to go in the future, and they want to see if we're on board with it without saying anything, kind of thing,
Yeah, that's what it feels like to me.
The little bit of engagement is better than no engagement at all.
It is. It is.
True. That is very true.
I agree with that.
But why is it so hard for them? It's not hard. It's not hard.
I don't know.
And this is not just CG. I've played every hero collector, and all of them make it it's so tough to talk to the community like they're human beings and not treat them like they're idiots. You do those two things, and also if they would admit their mistakes, sometimes the fan base would be more open to them making mistakes. But instead, they act like stingy assholes, and so the community is waiting for them to mess up like this so they can.
Oh yeah,
they're waiting.
Start a dumpster fire.
Yeah, they're waiting for it.
We have to. I've been fair with CG. When they get stuff right, I defend the hell out of them. So it's not like I just dump on them all the time. When they get stuff, like I just said before, I said Cal, the event,
yeah.
the team, the UVA team, amazing.
Yeah.
Love it. Over the moon with that event
That was,
and the character and the
great
UVA team.
character.
I think they've done a fantastic job with that. So when they get stuff right, I make sure to go out of my way to say, "Great job, guys! Keep this up." You know, the recent changes, the quality of life changes, a lot of stuff that they do, I will give them credit and let them know, kudos. You know, but when they mess up, because they don't communicate, and I think one of the things, and I've told them this years ago, is just my feedback is, you cannot be afraid to put your ass out there to the community. You've got to be thick-skinned and get out there and get dirty. You know, if someone sees you every day talking about the game, playing the game, discussing the game with the community, they have a different way of approaching you and how you do things with them. So, you know, the only thing we get from them is forum posts.
I think that's what people liked about CG Carey.
Yeah, she was very much open. I did interviews with CG Carey. And
She was out there.
Yeah, Crumb was doing that for a long time. I even did Meathead for a little bit, and then it just the beta thing happened, and then just gone. The only thing we get is the forum post. Hell, we were supposed to have a new community manager, I don't know,
2 years
last
ago.
year.
Years ago. Yeah, or a year or two ago.
Crumb even said they had someone ready to go. Nothing. You know, they just stop telling us stuff. They just tell us what that's coming to the game, and then that's it. Meathead's in the one Discord, you know, but that's just to let people know something's coming up, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
which is
Red
better than
5.
nothing. But you know, it's like, good lord.
So,
I don't know. I'd have a different approach on how I do it. I mean, I just have a Bachelor of Science in Business and Marketing. But what do I know?
There you go. You know, exactly.
So the last time we had like a content creator or anything had a big reveal was the Dr. Afra, right? Paul and Nev and Cubs and Gridden. And did you have any part in that, Ranger?
No, that was their thing.
Okay. So,
I've done, yeah, the last ones I had done was, that was for them, and I'd done quite a few. I think the last couple was Mall. We did Mall, and I think I did Talent as well. So we did those right for the beta program ended stuff. So yeah.
Were you in on the Mace rework with Rambam?
Yes.
That was pretty epic. I enjoyed that.
I knew about it for months, and man, was that fantastic. I ruined that man over that. He had no idea. I gave him endless crap about it. Mace sucks. He's never getting a rework. The whole time I knew he was getting a rework.
that was one of the best ones too. But but before I forget real quick, that was the last time that any content creator has had a really big reveal. Do you know, or are they going to stop doing that? Because a lot of the big names have kind of quit at the same time since then. So are they going to keep doing that, or are they shying away from that?
They're shying away from that.
Yeah, I always thought that was
which is
cool
funny.
too.
It's all about leaks and stuff, but we're still getting leaks. I hear about stuff all the time.
Yep.
You know, and I'm just like, okay. You know, it's gotten better. They have closed up some of the gaps, but there was a couple months there I was going, you know, CG, if you're gonna, you know, and you had every right to tear down the beta program because of what happened, but there are more leaks coming out. It makes you look a little bad, you know. Just saying, you may want to get that
full bug sweep of the CG headquarters. Someone's got a plant in there.
In their one computer.
Over Datacrons. That's what the big leak was, and look where they are. Part of the game.
Yep.
Gotta deal with it.
Yep.
Back to your original question though, Bones. Who do you want as the next GL was a really interesting question to ask, because I thought hard about that, and no character to me in the major canon timeline seemed worthy of a galactic legend. My mind went to Old Republic, but Like
Yeah,
I couldn't think of anyone original trilogy, and we have too much sequel trilogy stuff. I just no more, please.
you know what I
I
honestly
agree.
thought? I felt this answer was a little bit original. I mean, I'm counting down to the Ahsoka show, believe me. But
And that's where I thought too. Like, are they gonna do like Dark Saber Mando, or are they gonna make GL Ahsoka?
I put Grand Admiral Thrawn.
I could see like
Don't want.
I could see the new version getting one.
Yeah,
'Cause he
and
looks
Ahsoka.
different.
That's the two that I've been talking to people about. Is those two characters? I mean, my choice was True Revan, which I knew
Same.
when I
Yeah,
interviewed Carrie a couple years back before she left. She told me because she knows how much I'm a big Revan fan. You can see there he is right behind me. Well, let me get out of the way.
Oh
there.
shit, that's awesome.
Yes.
I didn't see that.
Oh yeah, that's my old costume I used to wear for our ACS stuff. She told me they were in the works for True Revan, but they shelved it. I was like, ah! I was like, oh no!
And yeah, I mean,
Maybe he comes back. You know, get a Revan Reborn or something.
so that's
That's
what I
I
said
said.
as well. Yeah, I said the same thing, and I think a lot of people agree. I mean, I think that's the most epic you can get for now, and then after that, it's just kind of coming up with shit.
Make him like a neutral character.
literally, like the
Yeah.
shit you could do, whether he's with dark side or light side, it's wow.
Now, of course, they were like, what's a conquest character? And I was like Jar Jar, and then the Marquise. I wanted some Gungans.
Bob, I'm going to fucking kill you.
And there's a lot of people saying the same thing. So don't be surprised when Gungans come out to be like the Tuskens or something for the new raid. So just be
Gross.
ready.
You know what I put as a conquest character? Darth Bane.
Yeah, he needs to come soon. I mean, he's
I
one of
think
those
I think
requested.
Darth Bane is worthy of a GL tag, in my opinion.
I can't think of the name of the character that I typed in for Conquest. It's the guy from Andor.
Jar.
Two tubes.
Lucian?
Lucian, yeah. The guy who plays in Thor.
Yeah, Scar, whatever his name is. I can't think of it.
Stellan
Skarsgård.
Skarsgård.
Kellen Skarsgård.
Yeah, thank you. I can never say that name correctly.
But his character was so cool. I feel like he would be a really
Andor was
fun.
phenomenal.
Yeah,
No, his character was cool. Like really
Luthen.
cool.
His name is
Like-
Luthen.
Yeah, yeah, you give him like the rebel fighter tag, and like oh yeah.
And maybe his like spinny lightsaber
Oh
ship.
God, yes. But I mean, yeah, Old Republic really has a lot of characters from Exar Kun, Uliquel Droma. Those two
Does.
could be GLs.
Extra Kun would be outstanding.
Naomi Sunrider, she's definitely worthy of a GL tag. I mean,
What about someone like Darth Plagueis?
Plagueis? Not enough on him. He only had the one book,
Really,
and he
you have a reference? Yeah, like
That not,
We have
for
legendary.
anyone,
Yes, I don't know about GL.
We have
for
Solo.
anyone who likes the novels, the Darth Plagueis novel was excellent.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It was very good. I highly recommend that book.
But I think I don't know how you guys feel, but I just have a feeling with the new Ahsoka series, new Thrawn, new Ahsoka as the next two GLs. I don't think they're going to step outside of that. They might go in between or maybe before they do those two characters, like with say a True Revan, just to mix it up a little bit. I don't know.
We're at least a year away from that, though, if
Yeah.
they do that, right?
Yeah.
Because the show comes out in August, so they're not going to release it for a long time.
But,
yeah, and it gets until spring, so that's about 9 months afterwards. So
do you
yeah.
suspect there's some bit of a tie-in with Leia being announced as GL? Granted, the artwork we have, it's obviously Endor, Return of the Jedi, but the next legend, according to how they do it, should be Darkseid. Could it be attached to the Ahsoka show? That's why I put Thrawn.
doesn't have
I
to be
would-
Dark Side because they went Lord Vader Jabba, so they went back to back Dark
They
Side.
did.
So it could go Leia Ahsoka or Leia GL or Dark Revan or whatever they're going to do. So they can go in any direction they want.
but
If they're going to release Thrawn and Ahsoka, I want Thrawn first.
I agree. He needs more loving than Ahsoka does.
He's such a cool character.
It's one of my favorite villains ever. I've read the books, but I went back and someone said you got to listen to the audiobooks on the new Thrawn series because Mendelsohn did the voice for the from the show The Rebels, and Oh my God. It's like
It's so
honey
good.
dripping in your ear every time that man's speaking. I'm just like, oh my God, it's so good, man.
His voice is like almost bone chilling in the audiobooks. It's really good. Like
So quiet when he speaks to everyone. He's like, oh, he's going to murder them all. But he's being so coy about it.
He's being so Bob Ross about it. Like we're just.
I was just gonna say he's so artistic about it.
He is.
So we were talking about if it was an old Republic. So you said Revan. What would be would you have a light side counterpart to it? Or would it just be a standalone since he's both, pretty much?
I think it would be
standalone.
a neutral GL that could work with either light side or dark side.
And that could buy them time for the next two. Yeah, I like that. That's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Also, they asked for what capital ship and what was it, marquee ships or something you would do. What did you guys say for that?
I put Trench's ship.
That makes sense.
I actually don't.
Might as well fucking do it.
I don't even know what I said for the capital ship, but I know I said Naboo Starfighter.
That would be a good one to have.
Oh yeah, I think we're due for a Naboo Starfighter.
Maybe lift Mace's, lift up the endurance.
Right? Naboo Starfighter just, poof, slut magic, it appears and saves Mace Windu's ass. Sure, good with it. I'll go.
I know my answer on that's going to be the B-Wing.
Oh, that's a good one too.
The B-Wing. It's my favorite.
B-Wing and the E-Wing are two of my favorite ships from
I want the A-Wing to come out. Like it could be like, a TIE.
I like those two ships better. I think they're cooler than the A-Wing.
And if you blow up the A-Wing, it spirals into the Executor and crashes it.
Exactly.
Concentrate all 4 or 5 power. I don't want anything getting through. Too late. Green later gave his life. Went out like a boss. Took out the Executor.
Literally, that ship flying into the bridge was Ted Lasso throwing 3 darts. That's how.
So I think it would be cool to have. Do you guys remember Shadows of the Empire? The villain, the green guy. I don't know how to say his name, like Prince Zhao.
Oh, Prince Izor. Prince Izor.
So you are really dating me now. I played that game a long time.
Yeah, Black Suns would be a nice faction because they were a faction that was against the Hutt cartel, so you could have another scoundrel, aka smuggler, scummy kind of faction in with the Black Suns. That would work perfectly. Another faction that I've mentioned this too. The Eternal Throne family from the Old Republic, the Valkorian, Arkan, Thexan, Valar, the Mother. I mean, you could have them come in. You've got the Celestials. You can bring those 3 characters in with, and if you wanted a 4th, you can throw in Abeloth. There's all these. We still haven't got Darth Krayt. We've got Talon, but we don't have Krayt yet, and I think he would be a great addition to the game. Bane and Zana. You can just go down the list of all these great lore characters that that we could bring into the game that would just be on light side and dark side that they could do a lot of fun stuff with, and ships too. Because there's a lot of. We were talking about this on my stream today with Karth, and Karth has had this idea for he said about a month or 2 ago about let's bring in more clone ships and just have the clones be associated with Mace. And then have all bring in Yoda Starfighter, like Anakin stuff, and then have
Yoda
all the
Starfighter, yeah,
and have the Jedi as part of the negotiator.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, both,
like
yeah, and
I like that.
so just a couple ships here and there, and then you can have both those fleets for Republic.
I actually really like that idea. Like make Yoda a pilot. A lot of people have Yoda relicked up pretty high.
He was in Battlefront too, man. He had his heroic ship. It's a Jedi Starfighter. It's green and yellow. Yeah,
I've got the Lego version of it. Hold on,
nice.
I'll show you.
No, I believe it.
But it's a
Come back.
I like that though. It's a good point. You could give him the clones the same.
Fucker got his own ship.
Which one is that?
It's Yoda's Jedi Starfighter.
Okay. Gotcha.
With Kung Fu grip.
It's green, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gray and green. Yeah. So yeah, they all have their specific colors for them.
So Pale Thunder in the chat said the pirate capital ship from the season 3 of Mando, the weird tentacle guy.
Maybe they could.
You could do that.
I don't
as
know
well.
about. Maybe they could.
Herfadurfa says Raid 5, as in Ray, is the real answer.
The Red 5 shit. I'm
over Red 5. Whenever it comes, it comes. I just don't want to talk about it. I'm sick of it. I'm over it.
And Meatwad's gonna pilot it, so be ready.
Yeah.
So my marquee answer was 9 Numb.
I
And
like 9 Numb. That's a good one.
Sternbach messaged me today, and he's like, "I listened to the podcast last week. What is your obsession with 9 Numb?"
It's a fun character. He was in Battlefront 1, man. You could put your sword down and kill a bunch of fools.
And he's
He
more
was
iconic
amazing.
than most of the ones that are in the game now. So I agree.
And who doesn't love a good Sulston? I mean,
Who?
he did blow up Death Star too, by the way.
He did.
Oh yeah.
He was right there with Lando.
Him and Lando. Boom.
Don't forget about Wedge. Wedge was the
And
other.
Wedge, that's true. It was Wedge.
Cover me, Porkins.
So one last question about this survey. Even though we named about 1,000 people we could bring to the game, do you think they're running out of ideas?
Hell,
No, we just
how
laid
can you?
out the future of the game for the next 5 fucking years.
The canon is ongoing. There's plenty more books. We have the High
Yeah.
Republic that's starting to take off. We've got whether you like the stuff or not, it's still there.
And there's characters.
There's characters, and it's popular. We've still got the Acolyte that's going to bring in characters. Ahsoka season 1 is coming out. We got Andor season 2 that's going to be coming out, and so yeah, there'll be plenty of new characters and stories and arcs and things. So, I mean, it's not like Lord of the Rings or some of these, kind of dead lore where it's like, 40K and Star Wars are two of those factions that the lore is always ongoing and it's always changing. And that's what makes it so great.
Ranger, you saying that reminded me of what my answer was to the capital ship. My answer was the Gaze Electric, which is from the High Republic books. If anyone has read or listened to them, like the main villain, Marchion Ro, his capital ship.
I like that.
I could see them like bringing in some content from that era because there's nothing. And Marchion,
I remember I asked them to bring in the Geode from that era. The pilot is what I asked.
What they need to bring in is the goddamn Vong. They're overdue. Let's go. Let's get some bioorganic capital ships and fleets and characters in this game. God damn it.
Yeah, and like ones we didn't even talk about is Forlom and Zuckuss and their ships. Like I've been wanting that for a long time as well. Even before Red 5 or anything like that. I've been wanting them to come into the game for a long time.
Red 5 is overdue, and I'm just sick of just saying, this month Red 5, this month Red 5, this month Red 5. Okay, no more. You've cried wolf too many times. I don't want to be trolled. I don't want to hear anything more about Red fucking 5 until we actually get a post saying, hey, guess what's coming next week? Red 5. Oh, thank God. Let's move on.
God, we're back on Red 5.
No, we're saying we're done with Red 5 until I get a post about it. I don't want to talk about it or hear about it.
I leave to go get a fucking splash of bourbon. I come back. Red 5. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, the Chiss ships would be good there, Caesar.
Yeah, so didn't they have Chiss ships in the new Ahsoka trailer? I think you see them. There's a new one that just came out a few days ago. And
this sounds like some Mike Zero information. I don't know about this.
I don't watch that guy.
I think they're kind of
Bones info with his eyes that he saw.
Now with Leviathan right now, I think CG's kind of done with ships. Their primary focus right now is GL Leia.
It's all GLA now. So for the next 2 months, 2.5 months until we get to the fall, it's going to be just quiet time. It'll be bug fixes. They're going to focus on Leviathan for the next couple weeks, trying to get that ship to where they want it to be. But it'll be next week or the week after, we'll get the next marquee character, the new one they're creating, plus probably an announcement of the next set of requirements for GLA on top of that. I still expect someone to ask me, like, do we just think the 3 marquees are going to be Leia? I'm like, no, I think we're going to get a couple more. I think they're going to go big on the marquees for this GL. Because if you look at what they did last year with Jabba, they self-contained the team. The 3 new characters were added to the GL to make the team as it is. Rex is not going to be on GL Leia. The new trooper will be, but Kenise is not. She's going over there with the Ewoks. So they're going to need at least 2 more characters, I think, are coming in marquee.
9, no.
It could be 9 Nub. Yeah,
Scout
it could be 9
Trooper.
Nub.
Scout Trooper.
I don't know. I think Scout Trooper's coming in anytime soon as part of this. I don't, it's like Red 5. I'll believe Scout Trooper when goddamn comes in the game.
Yeah,
I want him to, though.
He's my favorite.
Ranger, did you put do you have Captain Rex at Relics?
No, I haven't even started that yet.
I did. I read the kit and I was really wowed, and I wailed on it, and he's Relic 7, and
he's solid, very solid. But it makes Phoenix very, very solid now. Not super duper, but they're very good.
With his Omicron. Now that was I don't know, guys, did we ever clear this up with Captain Rex's Omicron? It's on his unique. Is that
He shares it.
unique shared with the rest of the fucking Phoenix squad?
Yes.
Yeah.
Plus, you're getting the sharing from Hera and everybody else sharing their stuff. So yeah, that's what makes that team so good.
Yeah.
So Ranger, are you excited about Leia? Is that what you're working towards right now?
Passively excited. I don't have enough information to really know how excited. I'm over the moon that they're doing something for Carrie Fisher. It does my heart good. And we said this last year before we had the announcement of the 2 GLs that were coming out. We said it's going to be Jabba and it's going to be Leia. We don't know which order, but we'll wait and see. And once Cursanta came out and we started getting a sniff, we're like, okay, it's going to be Jabba. Then next year it'll be Leia. You know, especially with 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. I think a tribute to Carrie Fisher is overdue. Her character, you know, Leia is one of it's the big 3, Han, Luke, and Leia, man. I mean, it doesn't get any bigger than those 3. Han and Luke had
Rebels.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's great. So in the sense, having a GL Leia in the game, I'm excited for the specific character. I'm not there yet because I don't have enough information. I got to see the kit, how good she is, that kind of thing. We know she's going to be needed for the raid that'll be switching in about 6 to 7 months when we get to that portion of it.
For fuck's sake.
I like that.
Rabble.
I like that they're doing it because I mean we're already tired of this raid. I mean it's on pretty much auto for a lot of us at the level we're at. So I mean I get the new every 3 days we're doing the raid. It's like I go in, do my couple battles, get my 5 million, and I'm like, okay, give me my rewards, you know. So it'll be nice to do something different to change it up.
You will wait your 3 days for your rewards.
I know, right?
Speaking of,
but yeah,
yeah,
I'm not there yet for GLA like the character itself.
So speaking of the raid, though, I was going to ask you about that too.
Sure.
What's your opinion about that overall? Because I mean, we talked about last week, but I'd like to know your opinion. Like, do you think it's a cool thing? And also, I want to know, how do you think it's going to be ran alongside with Crate?
Well, it's going to be the next tier up, so you can still do the Crate raid, but you won't get those MK3 tokens or the top tier tokens, right?
So featured raid will be getting that content.
Right. So the feature raid will be getting that, and I'm okay with that. I think what they did for the raid structure for rewards has been fantastic. I'm over the moon with what they've done for with the tokens and stuff to help players out for, especially through Gear 12. That was my biggest concern. And when the first rewards came out and the way the tokens are set up, I was like, here we go with this shit again. Yes, you can choose. Yes,
you can choose. But Ranger, my only issue with that is obviously, you know, even in some respects, Yvonne, you and I play at a kind of a different level. We do spend, we do make sure that we get the stuff we need to continue progression at the pace that we're at. But for those that invested a lot of relic material to do better in the raid, to meet a certain guild threshold, to hit a certain box, they're now being told, okay, so this is now kind of a tool for roster depth, but now you've got to go through this process all over again to get a different box, to get the material that you were used to. And it's another form of progression that's going to happen. Like, is this going to be the new time frame?
Here's where I disagree with you on this point, is that it depends on what guild you're in, right?
Yeah.
Like my guild, we are competitive, but we don't tell you, okay, everyone needs to take Tuskens to Relic 7 so you can get the Tusken raid bonus. So like no one in my guild has Relic 7 Tuskens, because why would anyone in my guild do that?
Right. And you don't need them.
I have Tuskens at Relic 5 because I wanted to farm them and I didn't have character shards to farm, and it seemed like a fun team to farm. And I had Tusken Shaman at Relics for rote platoons, and I had Tusken Raider at Relics for GL requirement, And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take the third Tusken up. And then they dropped the new Tuskens. And I was like, all right, I'll round out the 5 and I'll get the other 2 and take them up. So I took them to Relic 5 to use Datacrons. But I stopped there because I'm like, I am not going to take them to 7 just for like a couple extra 100,000 damage in the raid. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I left them at R5 and that's where they sit. So like, I hear you saying like, okay, I need to take all my characters up for this crate raid, but like you don't need to. It just depends on how hard your guild wants to slam the raid.
Yeah, if you're if you're pushing the 130, that's still pretty solid because with the way they rewarded the tokens, you're still getting a pretty good amount to do some good stuff. My thing, people have been. Now, there are side benefits if you work on the main teams. Like if you work on Jabba, for instance.
Mandos.
Yeah, those main teams is all you really need. Those are the 2 I go in with. Like, okay, there's most of my points. Just go kick that ass. But there's a side benefit as one. It helps you in TB because these characters, as you roll them up for the raid, you can also use them in TB. So there is added benefit for that as well. That'll help your guild progresses in that area as well.
While I did have that argument, I did kind of look at it on the flip side of the coin of this is also a way that if people are going to work on different teams for a raid that may change and there's a featured raid, it is going to give players an opportunity to focus on roster depth.
Yeah.
That was kind of the flip side to that argument.
I think
I feel biggest... like if some people invested some time, like I feel like there may be some players out there that maybe didn't have their Tuskens to Relic 7, but were working on it. And now it's like, whoa, this new post came out, pump the brakes. So
but you still got a good team out of it. It's not like any of the, the only bad one I knew I wasn't going to work on them regardless was going to be the Jawas. I was like, nope. I like Houtini Bomb, but they're going to be at Relic 0, and I ain't touching them turds, So
and maybe I'm better because I put my Jawas to Relic 4.
That's okay, but I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, and for the new raid, focus on the main things, but don't worry about that secondary stuff. Eventually you'll go back and work on it, but if you don't get it in time for the raid, as long as you work on the main teams, and this one coming up, a lot of people should have a lot of this stuff because it's going to be troopers and rebels and things that people would work on anyway. You just have to add the new characters in, and when you get them, that'll help you out even more in the raid. It'll be fine, So
I think my biggest constructive criticism for CG is tell the community how often you intend to make new raids, so we kind of understand the shelf life and where to invest resources.
Right,
and then also like tell us about the rewards system. Like, is the new raid going to give you less of the Guild 1 rewards and more of the Guild 3 rewards, which is better for your higher end relics? Or is it going to be the same reward structure? Because if it's going to be the same, then your guild can decide, okay, the new raid is here, but we should just stay course with crate because we can make more headway. Or do you want the new hotness and you need to go for the new Endor raid, right?
Yeah, like give
I don't know,
just
talk to us.
Choice. Yeah, talk to us.
Well, in a nutshell, it sounds like a Datacron rolled up into a raid, like a temporary raid, and once it's gone, it's once the new one comes around, the last one doesn't matter anymore. I mean,
but it's designed to, as these guilds get to these points, that you progress through each of the raids that you can do realistically with the GP you have to hit a certain threshold, and then when you hit that threshold, you say, okay, now let's move on to the next raid and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that makes
you can
sense,
get
for sure.
rewards and things. So I like what they're doing with the raids. I don't have a problem with it. Yeah, it's a little monotonous, but we do stuff in this game. I work on Datacrons, not because I fucking love Datacrons. I despise Datacrons, but you bet your ass I work my ass off on them.
Yep.
It's just one of those things. It's like mods. I hate mods. But I work on them religiously multiple times a day, or I'm just sitting there like pulling mods and slicing them and working on them because they make a difference. So you do stuff in this game that's kind of like, ugh. So you can do the fun things where you're having, oh, this is cool. I like this. This is, I'm enjoying this, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
for sure. So what's up next, man?
All right. So there was a topic that I'd given some thought about a little bit, and I was curious what you guys thought. And I brought this up in the new episode update. TW. We all play it. It's the prime source for re-roll material for Datacrons, which Ranger loves so much. But unfortunately, if you want re-roll material and you don't want to spend, then you better do well in TW. My question is TW getting stale? Are you bored with it? Is it the same shit every time, depending on your opponent? And is it time? Is it time for CG to look at this game mode and maybe give us a good revise? What do you guys think?
It's beyond stale. It's boring. I look at TW. I commit to it because we do. But if we win, great. If we lose, great. I could care less.
Yeah.
I mean, it's at that point. So it's just one of those game modes. They're going to have to spice it up. They're going to have to change it. They're going to have to work on it. But they've been so focused on PvE. PvP has really suffered here.
Really, yeah.
Year.
I agree.
GAC is in a bad state, and so is TW. So, and those are the only two places you can really go fight other players against their accounts. And not much has changed. It's been the same thing over and over. The only thing that they've changed, which sucks up ass, is Datacrons for GAC. That's the last big change they made, and it was a horrible change. We're not gonna get into that shit. But that's really stale. I mean, the Datacrons change it, but the teams and the structures stay the same. It's just the Datacrons and which team you use to take that on is what changes, nothing else. And so they haven't updated GAC in a while. They haven't even looked at it. I mean, there's a big problem with GAC with the squish and everything else going on. They haven't touched it. TW, they haven't even looked at that thing in years. It's just been, they updated the GP range for what you can get for rewards, and that's it. That's the last thing we've gotten for TW. I don't think they care, and I don't care either. It's like I go in, get what I can. If I get good stuff, I'm going to get good stuff regardless. So if we lose, I still get materials. So it's like, yeah, I'll go in, give it my all. I'll commit to it, and I'll do the fights. But I'm not going to stress about if we win or lose.
Yeah, so I need all you TW tryhards to just chill out a little bit. It's all right. It's not that big.
Wow. I think that was directed at you, sir.
No, I'm a TB officer. I'm not a TW officer. No.
No, our guild's awesome. They're hella laid back for TW, but I've been part of some where it's just a little too much.
So here's my take on PvP content, right? CG took PvP and they put it right on cruise control. And I kind of don't hate that because I go into it and I know exactly what I'm going to get. I'm going to win 50% of the time if I try.
Yep.
And I'm going to lose 50% of the time if I try. If I try 0% of the time, I'm going to lose 100% of the time. Like you're going to get out of it whatever you put into it. And you're not going to go like the matches are lopsided in GAC sometimes if you're in like Kyber 5, 4, or 3, because you get people that just don't care for 2 or 3 weeks, fall down, and then just beat the crap out of people, right? But if you're in Kyber 1 or 2, everyone is trying, you're going to win 50% of your matches, and you're going to lose 50%. You're going to get the same amount of crystals as long as you try. And I'm good with that.
Yeah, I mean, 60% of the time it works.
100% of the time, yeah.
Yeah. Avant, I'm right there with you, man. I have to agree. I think PvP is, like what you said, completely on cruise control.
That being said, TW and GAC are stale and they do get boring. But like I get out of it exactly what I'm expecting, so I don't feel let down.
Well, it's like TW. It comes up on Discord. This is our opponent. This is what they got, and we're
going to lose or we're going to win.
Yeah, literally, one of our officers says, "Listen, we've got this guild. This is a joke. Just
we got to show up, bash them in, and beat them down, and we'll get the win." And then sometimes you get the matchup, and you're like, "Hey guys, we're outmatched.
Yeah. And then sometimes, you get a message where guys, take a day off, go to the beach, have a cocktail, go play 9 holes of golf, but we're gonna get our asses kicked, and that's it.
Yeah, for me, I've had like 10 GCs in a row. I've been either 5-4 and 6-3, and I'm just in the same spot I've been the whole time. I climb into Kyber 1, and then I get squished down to Kyber 2.
Yeah,
and then I climb back into Kyber 1, and then get my ass squished right back down to Kyber 2. And I've been right at.
I know you keep track of my GAC. That's the exact same shit. What's happening to me?
So for me,
I get into Kyber 1, and then the squish happens, and I'm right back at that border. Kyber 1, Kyber 2. That's right where I'm at.
And I've accepted my fate. I don't mind it. It's like for GAC, for me, it's more about when I'm doing it as a content creator. It's more just doing it right so the fans can see what's the counters and talk about it and that kind of thing, and interact with the fans and show them, because I do have all the tools and what I'm fighting at my level, at that level, the stuff I'm facing. But there's just sometimes, like I had one match here a couple weeks back where it's like, guys got 12.4. I just talked to him. He's a top 25 player. He had to take some time off because he had a big work thing. We're going to get stomped. I'm going to give it the best shot I got. But let's not have any crazy expectations here. I'm about to get stomped, and I'm going to go in there. I'm going to take my beating like a man. All right. So, I mean, so.
Yeah, I don't understand why people will purposely lose. Like, I don't care. I'm going to do my best. If I have the time, I'm going to do my best and give them my best shot. But a lot of people will just throw matches to get easier matches.
Bob, you know who those people are? Those people spend money.
Yeah.
Those people that throw matches to make it a little easier so they have a little less stress in their life, they spend money because they don't care.
They don't need to be in the top 100 because I've been in that arena, and let me tell you, it ain't fun. Yeah, I'm more than happy to be where I'm at, and take the crystals that I get and get good rewards, and that's it. I use it as a funnel to farming the other stuff that I'm working on, like the new GL. That's where because I'm in horde mode. The only thing I'm doing right now is taking Jedi Cal to Relic 8 because I think I've got 5 or 6, and then I've got the Night Sisters at a Relic. I need to take to Relic 7 because goddamn, if I'm going to beat that Secrets and Shadows, I want to get that fucker to 3 and be done with it so I can just sim it every time. That's the only assault battle I don't have done because I have not had a chance. Like, I don't care if I fall a little behind on GLA, I'm going to get those damn Night Sisters done. I got Marin. I might as well do it, damn it.
I did. I got Marin to Relic. She's Relic 5. I'm ready for that. My Night Sisters are ready to go.
Get it.
I'm very much looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I'm slow farming her. I have her at 6 stars, and I think I have her
really good, dude.
She's a bear to face for sure.
Yeah, she's really good. That team on offense can punch much higher with her on that team, especially in GAC. God damn, that team's really good.
Now that you mentioned that, so I wanted to mention this and then kind of go off on a side thing, as I really wanted to know your opinion on it. I did put the Omicron on Marin, and then after reading it, and then kind of going after looking at Asajj Ventress's,
yes, you should.
Hers
the two together. Yes.
Yeah, you need both of them.
Now I'm down to 1. I have plenty of time, I feel, to be able to apply 3 to this very interesting character that we got that I want your take on, who we affectionately here call Torn Meniscus.
The fuck?
Avant, go ahead, man. Fill him in.
Who the fuck is that?
Terran Malicos.
Oh.
So someone in my guild.
We come up with some crazy names. That's the craziest name I've heard for as a nickname for a character in this game. Holy shit.
It's actually a horrible injury.
Someone in my guild Discord was like, so how do I get this torn meniscus? And
what the fuck?
Everyone was like, what
go run in traffic?
Yeah, right? Go play truck out on the highway.
It's the new character. And someone was like, do you mean Terran Malicos? Yeah, that guy.
Torn meniscus. I've heard it all.
So now he is officially dubbed the torn meniscus.
Okay, the torn meniscus. I'm with you. I've got my cred back on them streets with them kids. No, he's going to be ridiculous. That character That's the craziest kid I have ever read, ever. That thing is broken OP as hell. And I'm just salivating, just sort of my hands like he in 3 months, he. Because I'm definitely working on him before I finish my GLA. I'll tell you that much right now, because he's going on my UFU team, and I can't wait to terrorize the shit out of some GLs with that
Relic
thing.
8 immediately.
Oh God, he's going to be disgusting. That kid, because I was reading with RKP from the Italian Boys, and we were going over it when it first came out, and I'm just like, are you reading this? Is that correct? Like, we were just stunned, because we've both been around the block a few times. I've never seen a kit like that. That is absolutely insane what that kit does, especially for the UFAs. That's insane. It's going to make Seer, good old regular Cal, Ahsoka Tano, who definitely won that team, him and crew, a powerhouse team in GAC and TW. You better look out. That team is going to be dynamite. That is star killer level domination.
It is. Like, you're going to need probably a legend to beat that.
Oh, easily. Now, there might be some counters out there that the community always comes up with, like, oh, nice just kick the shit out of it. I didn't know that. And something weird like that, So, but I mean, holy God, man.
I think the obvious counter is Treya, right?
Yeah.
It looks that way on paper, but Treya, yeah. But the problem is Treya is used against a lot of teams. So it's like you're going to have to pick your poison.
It's going to it'll make TW interesting. There will be, I think there will be some.
It's going to make your choice of where you choose to use Treya is going to be very critical.
Imagine facing a wall of UFUs with Malicos.
Oh, yeah.
And then a wall of Geos with Poggle Omicrons.
Poggle Omicron doesn't scare me. Malicos scares the shit out of me. That kit scares the shit out of me. It really does.
And all three of his GAC Omicron scare the shit out of me, because
they're gross. Plus, you've got the ones from Cal and Ahsoka and TW, and Jesus Christ, that team's going to be insane.
Oh, and the Encyclopedia Omicron for Seer.
It was that Omicron set, the one before the one that we're on now, where I read Ahsoka Tano's and Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum, and I immediately put her to Relic 7.
Yeah, mine's Relic 8.
That I did, because the addition of that with Malicos and Seer and Scav Cal and Kylo Ren unmasked, or
just need a tank. You could put 9 Sister in there. You just need someone to take that damage.
That's just going to be absolutely obscene.
That's good.
You got to think about the damage output of Fulcrum, what Malicos is going to do, and then Seer, her ability, it's kind of almost an insta-kill if it's not modded right.
I love her kit. It's very good.
It's they did a great job with all that in the event. I don't know if you guys unlocked Jedi Cal or not, but the event is so good.
I'll get him
well
done. I'll be ready.
You'll have a lot of fun. You only need a gear 12. Don't worry about relics. You can do it at gear 12.
No, I put
it was so much fun.
Seer's relics.
Yeah, I went in there with relic characters, but you don't need it. Everybody I've talked to that did it at 12 had no problems. You just have to know how the mechanics work for a couple of the fights, but as long as you know how they work.
All right, yeah.
Have fun. It's like you're playing Jedi Survive or Jedi Fallen Order. It was. Really
I enjoyed the game, so I'm really looking forward to the event.
They did a great job capturing that. The boss.
I didn't watch anyone's stream of it because I want to immerse myself in it and enjoy it.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna. It won't ruin the immersion. Just say it's just like you're playing the game, but in SWGOH version.
I figured. I'm pretty psyched about it. I'm looking forward to playing through it.
How long do you think it's going to be till that event comes back?
Well, hopefully 3 months, but
subject to change. Inquisitor cadence.
That's what the fuck I'm worried about.
Well, I don't think we're going to worry about it this time because they tied something in, unlike Grand Inquisitor, and his just screwy from the beginning. Just the whole release of the Inquisitors and the time frame was just
terrible,
just all over the place. Nothing lined up. It didn't make sense. There was no cadence to it. It was just blah 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 blah.
Yep.
This one I think will be more on a cadence because it's now linked to TV, and they want to give people an opportunity to try to, get in there.
To be fair, though, Grand Inquisitor is also linked to TB, and that's where
the TB wasn't out for that before Grand Inquisitor. We didn't get him until they announced the TB was coming. Then it's like, and then they didn't launch it right before it came out. It's like you bastards, that's just so jacked up.
It was a little bit. I was a little salty about it.
Everyone was salty about that. I had him, and I was like, "That's some salty shit right there."
Yeah, no, yeah. I didn't get Grand Inquisitor the first time. I was like, "What the fuck, dude? When is this guy coming back?"
I got him the second time,
and that's what I'm terrified about. Like, I'm
I don't
like
think so.
30 yards away from Saw Gerrera, and I'm about to hit 6-star for Tarful. Other than that, I'm done. Just, I'll have those done.
But it's not that big a deal, and here's why. You don't need it. It's nice for the extra rewards, but it's not something you need for your progression for TB and the UFO team itself, because Jedi Cal is not really a part of that team. It's just an awesome character you put on JML, and he's so good. But the UFO team itself is just the bonus to have, like to have that team there by itself, because you can go. I use it today and got a hold in JC. Easy. It gets holds for me all the time.
It's good.
Cal, the 2 Kylos, Ahsoka, and then it wrecks. It's so good on defense. It's great on offense.
Anytime I ever check my GAC history, whenever my Seer team is taken out, they had to use something serious to kill it.
Yeah, and I'm like, cool. So you're getting that, and they're great characters. When Cal comes back, unless you're really pushing in your guild to go to the new zone and get those extra rewards, but you need 35 people in your guild to do that anyway, and they all have to be really 7 to go do it. I wouldn't stress about it. It could be 6 months, and I'd be like, okay.
I don't think we ever discussed that new planet.
We did.
We talked about it with Pico.
Oh, did well? That's right, we did. Underwhelming.
It's okay. I mean, it's
eh. Yeah. Like, it's not something that's going to be really high on your priority list.
Eventually, it depends on where you're at. Like for my guild, we're 36 stars, pushing 37. We should be pushing 37 this TB, especially now with all the Leviathans we just got, right? So
you think?
Well, just the GP alone will make the difference. Yeah, I know with the GP we will.
Fair, okay.
So it's operations and just ship battles. But it's one of those things where it's like an extra little bit of chocolate on your sundae that you already have chocolate, but it's just the extra little bit of chocolate just to get a little bit more chocolate, taste in there. But it's still a great
of my chocolate.
It's just extra. It's just extra. It's nice to get. I mean, the Cartex and everything that's associated with that. It's an extra star. So eventually, as you progress up, it'll be an extra star that you can kind of skip on maybe one of those other zones where you're like, well, we're going to be able to short hit. Well, we got that extra star, so we can forget about that other shit over here.
Our guild is 34 stars consistent, and we're just not. I
wouldn't worry about it.
We're just not there yet.
Yeah, it's just nice to have, but it's not necessary. Yeah. I wouldn't stress at it. I mean, not having, but I still think it's going to come back in 3 months. Somewhere September, end of September, October. Start looking for Cal. I don't know the exact timing of it, but it should be around that time. I think they're going to do it this time. It'll come out after GLA. Once they get all that situated, look out for Jedi Cal to come popping in again.
Ranger, what's your guild's overall GP?
Let me look, because it's consistently changing by the minute. We just lost a player. No, we just lost a player. We have a new one coming in. He hasn't come in yet. We're at 528 million GP right now.
All right.
So we'll be probably, once we get everything sorted, 530 to 540, right around there. I don't know yet.
Nice.
There's been some turnover and stuff.
You have a much more efficient guild if you're getting that many stars in TB, because my guild is 529 million. So obviously something is not being done right.
I don't know what to tell you. I mean, we're 36 stars consistently.
Are you getting the 265 box in the raid?
We're a little short. We should by this week and be hitting the 265.
Yeah, we're a little short too.
No,
Here
I think we just hit the mark.
Progress slowed real quick after the Leviathan requirement.
Here I am feeling proud about our guild. We're just about to crack the 400 million mark.
You should be proud. That's a big deal.
It is.
We got our guild best to 26 stars. We'll get some more stars. We got to fill out some platoons and we'll get some more stars. But
we're
it'll
also
happen over
casual
time.
as hell. We're like very casual. So
Yeah. So I mean, that's actually pretty solid. I mean, you know, so 400 million getting 26 stars in the new TB, pretty good.
yeah, and our guild's always able to play the new content, whatever it is. So that's
Yeah,
deal.
and as you guys keep working and you get more GP and you get these characters, and as time progresses, you'll see each of these newer things as your guild progresses as a guild, or just overall, you'll have a better advantage going into each of these newer events as you progress with your GP and stuff. So you'll see that over time, that you'll have a much better starting position for each of this newer stuff as it progresses, as you get higher in GP and things of that nature.
who will be the crazy guild that goes back to Lightside Geo to try to max it out?
I can probably call or Mar, one of those psychopaths.
Imagine going back to one of
friends,
those.
a lot of those guys, and I'm just like, yeah, y'all crazy enough to go do that shit.
That would almost be like, you know, taking 2 vacation days in the middle of the week. You just hit auto and you're done. Like, you're just like, no, I'm not even going to
Well, with the characters we have now and the teams, I just don't think it's not for another 70 million GP. We're not quite there yet for someone, but someone will go back one day just to get that badge, right? That, you know, because they like that shit and they'll go back in, but still don't have enough ship GP to. We're still not there with the GP, even with the Leviathan, to go back and justify trying to max that.
No one's going to hit that. I meant just like going back and that
eventually,
like having fun and just like, you know,
they're pretty close now if they wanted to. It's just, but it's more of it's like a bragging right kind of thing more than anything. But they're not going to give up their rewards right now for ROTB, you know, until they reach a point of saturation on it where it's like, okay, we're at this point, you know, let's just take this one raid. We got the GP now. Let's go do it and then knock it out. Yeah, we need I agree with the E-Ray in the chat. We need at least another 2 fleets. And so, yeah.
Well, before we go to viewer questions and all the viewers that listen to us and what they want to say, I had one last topic I wanted to bring up, and it's something I can't interact with, but I'm curious about. And I don't know. I don't think it really gives enough. I think it needs an upgrade. I think there should be more rewards should be available for it, and that's proving grounds.
Oh.
Well, real quick, they just announced that if you buy the Conquest Pass, you get an extra attempt at it.
That's actually big.
You get an extra what?
You get
an extra attempt
at the Proving Grounds.
So Proving Grounds gives you 20 shards, but if you buy the Conquest Pass Plus, you get 1 extra attempt, giving you a chance at 40 shards instead of 20.
So you're saving 2,000 crystals right there.
Yeah, but
so the resource management person in me says 2,000 crystals costs how much in game? Does it cost $30? No.
Well, if you're getting the $9.99 pack for Conquest, which I do, and I need those characters,
don't you have to buy the $30 pass though?
You do, but if you're already buying the $9.99 pass, right, and you don't get the $30 pass, but now they're offering this as an incentive and say you need some of those proving ground characters.
Okay, I see. Yeah,
I would say then yes, then it's actually a really good deal.
So I see. So they're targeting people spending.
Yes,
they're targeting people who are spending already to try to get you to spend $20 extra.
Right. Plus is the other bonuses of now that pack with some of the feats, being done with it as well, and everything else.
Feat complete.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's a nice thing to do, because Ram Gotti said, man, did I love that shit. I just those 2 discs and stuff. I was like, I'm done with that, and it could ignore some other shit. So he was, and he red crated quite easily. So it's cruddy that they're Proving Ground still needs some work. I'm sorry, it's still the worst catch-up mechanic I've ever seen in this game.
Yep.
It's horrible. This makes it better only if you're going to spend. I do like the change, and I think it's a positive change, especially for those that are spenders. But those that are not spenders, it's still diarrhea. So, I mean, you can spray perfume on shit all you want. It's still a big pile of shit.
Like shit.
So Jack D. Nelson in the chat says, if you're buying Conquest passes, you don't need Proving Grounds because you're completing Conquest anyways.
Not
To certain,
not necessarily.
you could be at this point at the current Conquest. Let's say like you just got to 7-8 million GP and you're at the current Conquest and you're getting the latest characters, but you're still got 2 or 3 characters you missed because you weren't quite ready back in the day for hard node. This allows you to go back and get these characters expedited faster.
Yeah, I was going to say because I think a lot of players will actually buy the $10 pack because they're getting the extra shards to make Proving Grounds not so much as a fucking burden later on.
Yeah, and that's
if you buy that $10 pack, you get the expanded, the different reward track, and you get all those extra shards. That makes a difference. Like in Conquest, for me, I buy the $10 pack every Conquest. I need 1 red, 2 gold, and that's it.
Yeah,
And
but you should only really be buying the passes. One, if you're cracking and you're a couple reasons. One, you're cracking and you just want to
buy time.
Yeah, it's basically time is the most essential thing. The only reason you should be buying the $9.99 pack is if you are caught up with Conquest characters and to make it an easier farm, like Old Man Logan said, because that way you don't have to stress about getting 3 gold crates. Now, if you're not going to spend, then you got to do everything you can to either one, just get 4 gold crates in a row, so you get a character in 4 months instead of 3, or you get 1 gold, or you're gonna have to get red on all of them. It's just the way it is if you want the character when it first comes out.
Or
But that's if you're at that gold,
try hard here.
if you're at gold crate level, I keep telling people, okay, if you're gold crate, don't spend. Be happy with gold. Instead of 3 months, you get in 4. It's not that big a deal. It's not that big a deal. But it's only for people like me that one, I like the extra rewards. I like having the flexibility, like I do 1 red or 2 reds, and like that 1 conquest, that last one I call it my farm conquest, because I ain't doing ship at gold, and then I just sit there on the node, especially now that they're symbol, and that's all I'm doing. I'm just getting datacron material. I'm buying impulse detectors. I'm not farming shit other than that, So that's the method to the madness. But the scenario has to meet the criteria for that $9.99 pass to be worth it. The extra shards are nice, and they do help overall, but if be smart about, I always say in this game, you got to be smart about, if you have limited resources on money and financially, where you spend those. And the $9.99 pass is good up to where you're at. Is it worth it? If you're just 4 or 5 million and you're struggling just to get a certain crate, you spend if you want, but I mean, is it really helping you overall? I don't know.
Might be more helpful to you buy $10 worth of crystals.
Could be. Save them for Proving Grounds, because that's where your butt's going to be, because you're going to need it, So think about
Leviathan,
that.
Your Leviathan fund, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Sorry, I had to get back there.
Yeah.
Leviathan fund. Yeah. But no, I definitely feel like, I don't know. I think the rewards in Proving Grounds should be upped a little bit.
Yeah, those zombies are nice.
It is the worst catch-up mechanic for mid-game players I've ever seen. It's still, I mean, you're looking at so much time to get some of these characters, and it's just so ridiculous.
It's really bad. And so until they address that, this is a good move, but it's not even close to what needs to be addressed with Proving Grounds. I'm sorry, these characters are a year plus old, and if you are free to play, and you just do the bare minimum Proving Grounds with the crystal refreshes stuff, 17 months to unlock a character, that is unacceptable as shit. That is horrible. That is awful. Someone shit the bed with this idea.
like I don't feel like somebody should struggle to get the Razor Crest.
I'm
or
sorry, no.
Commander Ahsoka Tanoa.
No, they shouldn't have to go through all this.
They
For these
shouldn't have to
characters.
struggle to get these to
They
get
should
this
be expedited. They should be expedited as hell.
Exactly. I think Maul should be. I think Maul should be expedited at this point.
All those Razor Crest. I think Ahsoka, Razor Crest, Maul, easily. Even Dad Bod Boba Fett should all be expedited right now for.
The old Dad Bod. Yeah,
he's actually pretty solid. I use him a lot.
He is. He is, but yeah.
He's pretty damn good in Tuscan. Am I right there, Yvonne? He's pretty good.
Now,
I do have the Omicron, and yes, he's very good.
Yeah,
very nice.
Now, to get Bob in the conversation, Bob, you rely on proving grounds. You pay attention to when that shows up because you need a lot of this stuff.
I don't though, because I make sure I farm the characters I care about before they even get to proving ground. I'll pay the 600 crystals for 5 shards until I haven't farmed up whatever I have left. If I care about it. Now, it doesn't mean I don't have characters in proving grounds. I have 1, maybe 2, but I mean, like I just said, I'll have that character unlocked before it even gets to proving grounds. So,
what I was asking is, when you do the event, is the juice worth the squeeze?
The actual conquest event itself?
You do the event.
Proving grounds.
Oh, proving grounds. I mean,
if you're working on a character to get him to 7-star and you're trying to rely on proving grounds, is that juice worth the squeeze?
It has to be. That's the only choice we have at that point. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only choice. I mean, it's not. No, it's absolutely terrible. And it actually makes that character somewhat harder to achieve the longer it's out. Technically, it's easier to get when it comes out to Conquest. And then once it's out of there and in Proving Grounds, you can't get it until your minimum of 4 million. And then if you've played the actual Proving Grounds, some people can't even beat those notes.
Oh, they're awful. The time I had a chance to go in when they had the bug where we,
Yep.
Oh, actually, no shit. Those were not easy.
I went in there against Riva. And the only one I beat it with, GL-wise, was Jabba. And that was by the hair of my ass that Jabba pulled that out. Yep. The other one's got absolutely nugs. And it was one of the reasons why one of the guys that's, you guys know Big Country Mags, it's one of the reasons why he quit. That was a big reason why he stopped, because he's like, what the hell am I doing? This is because after about 900 attempts for, to try to get the 2 wins, he'd had enough. He didn't want to do it again. I'm like, I don't blame you, man. That is crazy shit.
Tune it down.
And
oh god, it cannot be that hard.
Over time, they should become easier, not tougher to acquire. And that's how it usually is in this game. And they do a great job of that. Their cadence for creating characters free to play available rather quickly, they're great at. But when it comes to these Conquest characters, it's the opposite. It's horrible.
Yeah, I would like to see them. I like Crafting Ways comment there. Double it. Instead of 20, make it 40.
Totally.
Exactly.
I would be totally for that.
And if they really want to be like strict about the release rate, like make it 40 after a certain amount of time, right?
Sure.
Like do 20 shards for the first, I don't know, 6 months, and then make it 40. But make it playable.
Yeah.
Or even
make it playable. Don't.
Sorry, go ahead, buddy. My bad.
I personally don't play Proving Grounds because I try hard in Conquest so that I don't have to do this.
Yeah.
But for the people who don't get to Red Crate or Gold Crate, like, don't make it impossible unless you have this team. Like, that's not the point of catching up, right?
And again, even with this last Conquest, while it had a little grind to it, but this last Conquest actually wasn't that bad. But again,
it's fine.
If you don't have the roster depth, you are not going to get a Red Crate.
This one's very much roster depth. Holy shit. This one is extraordinarily roster depth.
I have never seen a Conquest where, like, really win 40 battles with a very specific Phoenix team?
Right.
I'm skipping that one, by the way.
What, brother?
I'm like, no.
You know, I got that feat. Actually, I got that feat.
Oh, I know.
Good, yeah. I did all the other ones. I'll finish up all the other ones. I'm like, I got to skip one, and I am not investing in Rex yet. Sorry, I'll wait till next month and the month after.
Well, you know what? It was shortly after Rex came out, and my Phoenix, for some reason, maybe because, and again, I in the last episode, Ranger, you knowing as much as you know about Star Wars, you would have scolded the fuck out of me. But I mispronounced all their names. I've never watched Rebels, but there was just something
We're
about
no longer friends.
I always liked.
Well, that's all my time for tonight. Gotta go, guys.
Thanks, bud.
I can't watch every bit of. I can't.
You can watch the main episode. You can do a thing called filler where it gets rid of the filler episodes and just watch the main episodes, because there is some extraordinarily, some of the most amazing Star Wars moments I have ever watched was in Rebels. Ever.
Yeah, I agree. There are some really good.
There was something always about the Phoenix that I liked, and I had quite a few of them for various purposes in Relics. And then Captain Rex came out. Love the kit. I wailed on him. I put him to Relic 5 day one and gave him his Zeta and his Omicron. And then I'm like, well, I have a team for GAC. I only need to Relic 2 other Phoenix characters. They're at 12, so I'll just do it. And it is nice to have a whole nother team in your pocket to be able to work.
Yeah, I just made the call that I was going to get Jedi Cal up and the UFA team up and running and Leviathan first before I go hard into and Night Sisters, because I just want Secret Shadows done. I'm sick of looking at it. I'm sick of not being able to beat the tier 2 and 3. I'm like, I'm going to beat that mother effer. Then I'll go hard into Rex. But once I go hard into Rex, but my main focus first is the GL requirements. Once those are done, then I'll go back and round up my Phoenix, which some are already Relic because of requirements, but it's like in the Gear 12. But I'm not going to invest for Conquest on Phoenix, and I'm not going to take and try to go crazy for Rex. When it gets done. You know, pretty simple.
I stepped away for 1 minute and I missed you mispronounce Kanan again.
I did not say his name. I
Kanan.
said Ranger that I mispronounced names because I had not watched Rebels. And then Ranger was about to say that he was done.
Caleb Doom.
Kanan. It's Kanan, right?
Also,
like a cannon.
Also, Urza Bridger.
Kanan Jarros.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we do need to get Grande and Old Man Logan in the same room reading names. We'd be dead in a minute.
That actually would be a really fun segment of
oh my god,
putting up Star Wars names and having Logan read them.
Just any names, because Grande, I was on him a couple years back. We were on the Hindy stream and Grande was there and he was doing all the shout out for the names, right? And the Dragon Ball Z, there's 2 people in there that have Dragon Ball Z characters, you know, Goku and Vegeta. But it was Kakarot, because that's his what Vegeta calls him.
Yeah.
Well, Grande gets in there, starts reading. He's already butchering names already, and I'm already in tears. He's like, and our next person we got to shout out is Cock Carrot and Veggie Ito.
Veggie Ito.
Well, I now know that it's Kanan and it's Ezra. Like I got it now. I was scolded repeatedly.
You were not scolded. Don't be dramatic.
I was scolded.
You're gonna have to take a hiatus.
Literally, our chat was like, "How does old man not watch Rebels without him telling us he's never watched?"
I think you would enjoy it. There is some filler in there, but you can skip the filler, in my opinion. Although it all ties in, so there's moments that you won't understand.
Just watch the episode Twin Sons. Just watch that episode.
Oh my god.
All I fucking know is every single one of my Phoenix tunes in the game are Relic 5. Except for
You've done well.
No, but Logan, seriously, go watch the episode Twin Sons and you'll enjoy it. You'll know nothing about the whole show other than Kanan Jarrus is the
Kanan. You
sorry.
Kanan.
Kanan taught Ezra. Ezra rebelled against Kanan and goes off and does his own thing, and then that's all you need to know about the episode, and just watch it. And as a Star Wars fan, you'll really enjoy it.
Also,
I
if you're
All I gotta say is, and if you've seen Rebels, Ahsoka versus Schmader.
Yeah, it's
well,
good.
I've seen that. Anybody that's put on YouTube that has, the algorithm.
Yeah, but when you get the full context of everything that goes on,
That's true. That's true.
made that moment just way more powerful.
it's also something we might have to watch if you haven't, and that might tie into Ahsoka. There might be some things you don't even know what's going on because you haven't seen it.
Mhm.
Oh, there's stuff in the trailer that I was like geeking out and girling over, like the kind of moment where
Yeah,
the
same.
mural scene. I
Yeah.
lost my shit when that thing popped in. I was going,
Mhm.
and dude,
That's the father, the son, and the daughter.
no, not that mural.
Oh, the painting mural.
The painting mural, because we
Okay.
didn't know when that end of Rebels, where that takes place. And I'm like, where are they in the timeline with this? Now we know.
It's
And I
right
was like,
after,
oh,
isn't
let's
it?
go.
It's right after, isn't it?
Well, in Rebels, we get that epilogue scene, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
in the Ahsoka show, they've been kind of teasing. I'm like, we knew in the last season in Mando, and she asked, where does that tie in? And what's the whole story? We didn't know anything. And then as soon as I saw that image in that scene, I was like, now we know.
It looks
I
spectacular, man.
am
I
over
can't
the
wait.
moon. Oh my god.
So, Logan, my daughter is 4, and we've watched all of Rebels together.
You've raised your daughter right. Good job.
And she will often say to me, I'll say, "Do you want to watch Star Wars?" And she'll say, "Yes. Let's watch let's watch Rebels." And then I'll say, "Well, what episode do you want to watch?" And she'll say, I don't want to spoil it for you because you might watch it, but she always wants to watch the Twin Sons episode, and you should watch it.
All right,
I'm telling
I will
you.
have that watch before the next episode.
All right. I
It'll-
look forward to
it'll
your
put
reaction in the next episode.
No, the next episode I will have that watch, and we will have a segment on that, and I will
It's
give
really-
my.
And
Rebels
then-
is really good.
And you can keep pointing at the screen and going, I relicked him. I relicked him. I know that guy. He's relicked.
Yeah, can't pronounce your name worth a fuck, but I got your relic. There it is. All right, so what do we got for viewer comments, questions, all that jazz?
All right, I'll take this. And before we get into viewer comments, I want to say in our Discord server, if you're not there, please make your way over. We can put a link in the chat. But there is a segment or a channel in the Discord server about thrift shopping questions for Avant. So please put some questions in there. I'm going to start picking some questions from viewers and taking that direction as to how we take thrift shopping. Not doing it this week, but in the upcoming weeks, we'll do some like viewer questions for thrift shopping, like based on what you guys are thinking as to like, how do I spend resources? So I'll try to tailor that towards what you guys are thinking.
And I haven't done my favorite phrase for the night. Hit the
Cannon.
button. Bob, shut up. Stop.
That wasn't me. That was Ranger.
That was me.
Oh, shit. Ranger, damn it. Yeah. Conan, whatever the fuck your name is, hit that button, like, subscribe. If you enjoy what you're hearing, old man that can't pronounce Star Wars lore but plays this game right, because I mean I've watched the movies, but I haven't watched any of this other side shit. So I'll get there. I will watch it.
And push the fucking button.
And hit the fucking button, please. Hit the button.
Insert Clint Eastwood GIF.
Yeah. Get off my lawn. That kind of.
Is it GIF or GIF?
GIF. Ah, God,
You
don't
can
roast
say it
me
either
over
way.
that.
They're both the same. Just say it's. Yeah, I would say Jif.
Isn't Jif a peanut butter?
You got me hungry. I was
That's-
thinking that too.
Okay, viewer questions for the week.
Okay.
Not as many as typical, but that's fine. First one's from Crafting Way. Yeah, I have a question. How is Avant so good at the game? Day one Levy, powerful stuff. Double flex.
Genetics.
Some people are just born with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Built different.
part of me would say, yeah, I hope my resources and spent them well, and it got me a lot, but it didn't get me very much this time. So,
Yeah.
Leviathan.
but
Do.
we have made gelatin out of that horse. So,
Oh,
Very well done. Well done.
good.
next question. CS wins. After Leia, what are some other characters y'all would like to see as legends?
We kind of went
There's
over
a
that
couple.
already.
There's a couple
Kinda covered
questions.
that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next question from CS wins. What's your favorite type of foreign food? I'm a Thai fan.
I do like Thai food. I am a big sushi guy. I love sushi. But I've been blessed that because of my military service, I've been all over the world. So I've been able to eat all kinds of exotic food. But as much as I've partaken in, and trust me, I've been all over Europe, the Middle East, and Central America, South America, you name it, still Japanese food. I don't know what it is. I just like good hibachi. I love really good sushi. It tickles my.
You
Makes
just
me
took
happy.
my answer right from me. It's spend some time in Hawaii. Sushi. You put me in front of a good platter of different kinds of sushi, and you give me a large ceramic container of hot sake, and I am a happy motherfucker right there. Yep.
Bob?
I mean, you guys said what I would say. Japanese, Chinese food, even if it's crap, even if it's a shitty buffet, I'm in. Let's do it.
What's this dish? The cream of salmon guy. That sounds delicious.
Give me a plate of your shitty crab rangoon. I'm all for it. Yeah.
But I mean, I can't say that about most other foods. So I think, yeah, I'm right there with you guys. And I like sushi buffets that are small and cold better than like the expensive stuff.
I'm never doing a sushi buffet. No, I go. No, I go.
I'm a little ghetto, man. I'm a little ghetto.
I'm gonna give a two-part answer. Eastern Hemisphere, I'm gonna go. Nothing is better to me than a nice bowl of pho.
Oh yeah.
In my Western Hemisphere, take me to Argentina and give me a nice steak.
Yeah.
Seasoned. That was very pristine of you.
Yeah.
You even said the word hemisphere and split them up.
No, he's geographically intelligent.
I don't even know all 50 states and everything.
Well done indeed. Yeah. Steak.
So, Ranger, I don't know if you've caught the last couple episodes, but my hot topic for food has been burgers and burger toppings. For some reason, that's been asked multiple weeks.
Yeah,
and we're on the peanut butter and bacon trend. I'm spreading the word.
Oh no,
I've had it. It's okay. It's not my cup of tea. I like
Fair enough.
I like my favorite burger. I do like a classic burger. A big, thick, juicy burger. But
cheese or no?
Always cheese. Cheese, bacon, onions. I like lots of onions and stuff. But one of my favorites is an egg on it. A fried egg. That's runny. So I've had this one of my favorite eggs. But I don't eat that shit anymore. So I only get it once in a blue moon. So it's like my little treat. So, but yeah, I do like a good burger. I really love a good prime rib is my favorite to get into. So yeah.
Okay, so that leads into CS Wins' last question. And by the way, props to CS Wins. You ask all the SWGOH questions you want.
He does. He really does. He gives us to actually talk about.
Please keep the food questions coming because I can talk about food.
I do.
His last question is, what is your favorite type of meat to grill?
Oh, grill myself? Oh.
I will let everyone else go, but my answer is very simple.
I like to grill a lot, actually. That's my favorite thing is to grill. I grill pork, I grill chicken, I grill steak, kebabs. I even do like my vegetables in there. I'll put in some tinfoil with some olive oil and stuff and let those cook in there. Ooh, I'm just going to go with a good old steak. There's nothing like a good old steak. And I like my medium rare, just to put it in there. And I like to marinate my steaks 24 hours in advance. And and my mom makes a mean steak too because she marinates it differently. But when I marinate it, I soak it in bourbon and Worcestershire and some other stuff, Thousand Island dressing. Let it sit overnight, and then let that seep in, and then I'll cook it the next day, and it's really, really good.
Sounds delicious. I grilled cinnamon rolls one time at work.
Oh shit!
What?
I grilled some cinnamon rolls.
I could actually see that if you had some tinfoil, you put it in there.
That's
and
exactly what
Yeah.
I did, and it worked perfectly. They were great. They weren't burnt
yeah,
or anything.
that would work.
That's my favorite thing to grill.
That's awesome.
I think I'd like to grill steaks, but my friends, when they visit, they like the best compliment they give is for burgers. So I like a nice grilled burger. That's going to be my choice.
Good choice.
I do pork loin. I cut off some of the fat, but not all of it, because you want some of the
Oh, you
fat
want that fat in
right
there.
while it cooks. But I marinate it for 24 hours in 2 parts soy sauce, 1 part lemon juice, a little bit of ketchup, a little bit of mustard, a spicy horseradish mustard, minced garlic, a little bit of salt, little pepper, marinate for 24 hours. Put it on the grill at a kind of low, medium heat. Let the meat cook slow. Keep basting the pork loin with the marinade that it was already sitting it in. Let it caramelize, cook it slowly. And then when you get to that point where it's done, you slice it. It's juicy, and that marinade has caramelized over the entire piece. And oh my fucking God. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, I know what I'm having for dinner on Saturday now. So
For those
There goes that.
menu has now been
Solve that
my
mystery.
menu has now been made. I'm good.
Okay.
for those who have watched South Park, I just kept picturing Randy Marsh talking about creme fraiche while you were talking
This is
about
America.
I
Yeah,
love-
this is America.
They took her jobs.
You're
That dad knows some beer. That dad knows some beer. Nobody gets away from the bad dad.
I was thinking of Scott Fetterman's chili.
Okay, next question is from TK. For the most part, I've only built what I've wanted to build in this game, with a couple exceptions for guild stuff. The game's a lot more fun that way, in my opinion. Lately, I've been chasing new stuff like Afra and Java. I'm normally a few months behind the old man Logan types in the game. At 7.5 million, what's your take on chasing the new non-accelerated stuff over, say, Ray or Slicker? I'm currently going after Leviathan and then Leia.
Oh, that is a really good question.
I would say don't, because
Yeah. Wow.
I always give this caveat. It's a game. Go from whatever the hell you want, and you don't have to explain yourself to nobody because it's your time and your money. You're with the guild and it's cooperation. But if you're in a casual guild, it shouldn't matter a damn bit. Okay? The only time you should chase that stuff is when you reach a certain point of saturation. All right. And you will reach that in the game. It takes time, but if you play this game long enough, you'll reach a point where you'll get to a certain point where it seems far away because this is a marathon and not a sprint, but you will get to a point of saturation with your rewards and everything as you progress. It just starts accumulating and you start going through things easier than you did before. So I like getting slacker, knocking out some of this other stuff. As long as you're staying on target and you're working on something, once it's done, it's done.
Yeah.
You don't have to go back. You don't have to fuck around with it. Once you get the mods on there and you get it at the relic level, it's done. You don't have to really do anything with it. Then you move on to the next project, and then you get that done. Then you don't have to go back and do it again. Yeah, there's always going to be new shinies and stuff, but who cares? Unless you're at like where I'm at, or top of the spear in players, don't give a shit. Now, if you want to go for Leia and Leviathan because you like that stuff, then go get it. But don't chase because you feel like you need to chase. Work on the stuff that makes the most sense at your account. Getting the other GLs into your account at 7.5 million first before you go chase the new shit. I mean, I'd get slack before I get GL Leia. But if you want to get GL Leia, you can.
I would too.
Slicker
Yeah.
over Ray, because Slicker is versatile
much.
and you can use Slicker for
So
so
good.
many different counters.
Yeah, and also don't be that fucking guy that doesn't get Ray just because you don't like her character.
Oh, she's
Don't be that-
incredible.
don't be that fucking-
She's the queen
I
of
don't know how many
DGC for a
fucking
reason.
players like, I'm not getting Ray. I'm not putting Rose Tico to stop it. Stop it. Stop.
If you want to do that, that's fine. But when we meet in JAC and I stomp your ass, I don't want to hear any complaining. You know, so
Literally.
if you'd only had that extra GL you could have put on defense to free up one of your offensive teams, you might have done better.
Yeah. Ray works
next-
pretty well.
Next question is from Ultimate Crafting Way, who previously asked about how I'm so good at the game. For my actual question, I'd like to hear what the casters choose for the new unit survey, aside from Jar Jar. LOL.
Oh, I think we covered that already.
No, we covered that, and I'm
We
gonna
did, and
omit, I'm gonna.
I would
omit-
also like to point out, Crafting Way, thank you for bolstering my ego. I appreciate you.
Yes.
I want to omit Jar Jar from the record, Your Honor.
Okay.
There's no judge in here. You can't hear you.
He's like
The day that CG announces Jar Jar, our next podcast, you have to talk like Watto the entire time.
it makes no difference.
Yes, Nubian. That's very nice. Jar Jar, come to the game. I tell you to go fuck yourself, and I go free to play. Oh, yeah. Nubian.
It's really good.
And he goes Nubian at the end.
It's just always Nubians.
Queen Amidala of the Naboo.
My tricks don't on me. Only Nubians. They look very nice.
Yeah.
I love that thing.
Next question is from Bro Council. What are the odds that Mace Windu will be the kryptonite to Leviathan? Something has to make that ship useful.
Well,
They got to redo the whole structure of that ship. It's the kit itself; it's just outdated, and they need to bring in more GR, like we said, to make the clones just a clone faction for Mace, right? And then the Jedi GR faction for GK, and I think that'll solve that. Update the kit. He needs a more powerful ultimate, and his overall kit, his ship just needs a redesign and upgrade.
and that's the thing. Mace is actually always like my Mace is Relic 7. He's always been one of those characters I've wanted to put to 8 or 9 just because
Yeah.
it is really good, but CG keeps throwing shit at you that puts that side project more to the side.
Mace does make the Jabba counter more
He really
interesting.
does. He actually
It makes it
really-
easier. I pull GK from that and use religiously nothing but
Yep.
Mace.
No,
Mhm.
whenever I want to counter Jabba, Kenobi's never in there.
Mhm.
Not the tank one. Nope, Mace is in there.
Mhm.
Um,
Next question.
hold on.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Bones.
Before you go, this has nothing to do with the question. But remember earlier we mentioned you going free to play, and you said that was for later. Well, we're almost done here, and I haven't heard your pledge yet.
Say
Well-
something about Nubians.
Nubians.
Say something about Kanan.
Kanan Jarrus. I bet you he likes a good piece of ass of a Nubian. I already ordered a computer. It's being delivered, so I feel like I cheesed out. But you know what? Starting August into September, I will go free to play, and I will give everybody my updates.
Ooh.
It fucking sucks, even though we got a legend coming down around the corner. But you know what? I'll just
You'll be fine if you get it a couple weeks afterwards.
Yeah.
I do it all the time.
at the end of the month, I'll just drop another Volt or two, and I'll be back to where I was. It'll be fine. So
Can we call this segment "Old Man Becomes the Poor Man"?
yes,
Oh
You know what?
man, look at my life. I'm alive.
I love it when I go to Jedi Academy and I show up and Ranger always sings that to me. I enjoy that.
I have to incorporate it into the stream now. Whenever we go into the segment.
Old man becomes the poor man. All right. So our first episode in August till the end of August, I will be free to play.
Hey,
That'll be
here's some
my
blow for everyone. Yay!
I want a few more subscribers for my paying. I would appreciate that if you want to subscribe.
So hit the
hit
fucking
that
button, people.
Hit the fucking button. Hit the button. It's really it's right there. Subscribe, give subscriptions, do whatever it is you do. It all supports 1-800 Bob's Got Crystals. So do your thing. Yeah,
And if you order now, you'll get the second set
promoting
of steak
Bob's
knives
Crystals.
absolutely free.
Yeah, send them a fucking waffle maker while you're at it. Send them
Mm-hmm.
But no, I will. So 4 shows in a month. You will have 4 shows to hear my pain of what it's like to not buy the shit over the course of a month that I would normally buy, which is going to be incredibly painful. But I will do it. Said I would do it. I'm going to do it.
Think of all that pork roast you can buy and eat.
I can buy those anyway.
But think of the extra pork.
You can only eat so well. No, that's not true.
Not true.
Or you can meet all of our subscriptions and put that towards Bob's Crystal Fund.
No, it's not 1-800 got junk. It's 1-800 Bob's Got Crystals. That's
now it's Bob needs the 7-star levy.
Yep.
Oh.
And Leia when she comes out. So let's see
He's
what we
not
can do.
close. If anybody needs a 7-star levy, it's you, Avant.
Nah, I can wait.
All right. Well, now that we distinguish that.
Final question. Extreme Makeover Alderaan. First question by this user here. So, how do you feel about Bodhi Rook not being a crew member? Half the movie they just call him quote unquote the pilot.
No.
Then he gets in the then he gets in the game and CG says you are not a pilot. Do you have strong feelings about this? No. I clearly do.
I do not.
No, he was a terrible character in the movie as well.
Okay, he wasn't a terrible character.
No, he wasn't.
No, I disagree with Bones.
I do too.
Lies! Deceptions! Oh, God, know the truth.
So I hope they rework him, and I hope they give him a unique called the Local Boy. Because he was the pilot, the Local Boy. That's what Saul called him. And then you're all going to be sad because Bodhi's going to be so OP.
He's actually not bad in a Rebel fighter team. He actually is pretty solid. But it is kind of strange that he doesn't. But we could get some more ships. It's TBD, so we never know with CG.
Stolen Imperial cargo
if he
ship.
ends up becoming a pilot. He
actually flies. He's the pilot for Rogue One when they do the call sign Rogue One when they take a casting ship. And they could, they could do that. I mean, just throwing it out.
Cargo ship should be a tank. It just can take an enormous amount of punishment.
But I'm not. It's not something I sit there and go, Bodhi Rook. I better think about that for a while.
But he can be instantly annihilated by a Death Trooper with a thermal imploder grenade.
Well, thermal imploder grenades kind of do that. Yeah, they kind of go boom and you go death. Yeah.
That's usually how the ordnance works.
Yeah.
So I used to play Battlefront 2, and I had like Dolby 5.1, and my wife would walk into the room and be like, can you turn the bass down?
I know, man.
Because those thermal imploders would go off and shake the entire fucking house.
They would be throwing a lot.
I love that game, though.
I played the shit out of that game. I streamed it for years.
Is that Avant? Is that it, Avant?
Yeah, that's all of them.
We did it!
All right, fellas, we made it through another one.
Oh, my goodness. So that's 2.5 hours. That's about reached our...
We're under 3. Under 3 tonight.
Under 3. Outstanding. All right. So we covered everything. Thank you to all of us that joined us. Ranger, again, brother, thank you for your time, man. I immensely appreciate it. You do great work. I know you please pitch your stuff, pimp your show. I know you do a lot for you do stuff for charities. You do a lot of work. Please let everybody know where they can find you and what you do.
Well, I just hit my 7 years of streaming this game 2 weeks back. We've been streaming. Well, I've been streaming for that entire time. We stream on the Reality Skewed Gamers channel, SWGOH content in the afternoons for the lunch stream, Monday through Thursday from 11 Central, 12 Eastern, to usually 2-3 hours. I do it in the afternoon. We have the Wednesday night show, which is longer running live stream in the Star Wars Galaxy Heroes community, 7 years and running. And you can check that out every Wednesday at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Saturday mornings on YouTube, we have the Jedi Academy, which is coming to 300, where we just have content creators come on, and like Calvin Awesome, you name them, they've been there and they show up, and then we just do straight 2 hours of content creation. So that's mainly there. We do other stuff on the channel, like it's mainly Star Wars content. We're doing some Old Republic on there right now as well. I've done Battlefront 2 back in the day, but mainly SWGOH. That's what the SWGOH stuff. Now, on top of that, we also have RSU Variety, and that's mainly run by my heterosexual life mate, Finn. He plays other games there. We also do D&D on Saturday nights on there. We also have the Lore series going on, Lore with Idiots. That's with me, Ram, Karth, and Kashmir, and every Sunday I record it, and I try to teach a bunch of idiots lore, and they usually it's like
that sounds like fun.
So bad.
Yeah,
Just check it out. It's so bad.
Some of them get it.
I'll tell them a story. I'll give you an example. I'll tell them the story of Exar Kun and how his master, when he was first a Padawan, beat him with a stick. Not that his master beat him with a stick, but what about that stick is what they start asking me questions on. Like, is it made out of Beskar? Is it magical? How did it do it? It's like, my God, this is the type of shit I have to deal with on Sundays.
Hey, have me on sometime, and I'll come up with lots of stupid shit to ask you.
You're welcome, brother. Just let me know every Sunday at 12 Central, 1 Eastern. You're more than welcome. You join the other potato heads. And now, other big dates. August 5th, we are partnered with the American Cancer Society. We have been for years. We're kicking off the 2023 ACS, the American Cancer Society fundraising that we do. We raise about $20K a year for the ACS through our being affiliated then with Gamers Against Cancer. And so we'll have a 24-hour stream on that day. We usually raise a lot of money. This community is awesome. Along with all our other charity work. So August 5th will be our first 24-hour stream. We have some more events coming up related to the American Cancer Society. And so be on tune for that. And then we got some fun stuff coming up for that as well. And then let me think what else. September 1st, I'm getting my tattoo of the Mandalorian on my arm as a thank you to everybody that helped me get the Beskar Mando armor suit put together. Nice. That I will be using for the charity stream, full Beskar Mando suit. So I'll be getting the Mando tattoo as promised.
Hell yes.
And I'll record that. It's going to be on my right arm. It's a man of my word. And then, that February 1st to the 4th next year, MegaCon in Florida. We're going to have an RSG meetup. Me and Finn are going to MegaCon. And if you want to come down February 1st to the 4th in Orlando, we're going to be doing that. I'll be dressed up. He'll get dressed up. And we'll have some fun. We'll have an event for all the skewers to come down and hang out. And we'll eat and be merry and all that other stuff. Orlando's a good place to do it. Those are the big stuff for us. I think that's it.
Well, man, I appreciate you coming on here, buddy. And I also want to commend you for all the good things you do for charity definitely. And everything else, absolutely. Man.
Yep. Thank you.
And then you do a lot for them, and you have. So I really commend you, brother.
Yeah, it's important work. It is. It is. All right. Well, Avant, Bob, any closing words before we head on out?
I just want to say you guys have been giving me shit for months about Conquest. I went from 4th to the last chest, and I now got a gold chest. Now that I know what I'm doing, I should get red crate for the very first time ever. First time getting gold crate. So just want to let everyone know that follows the channel. It's been a big deal the last few weeks. So I just want to let everyone update that I, for the first time, got gold crate. So, but with that being said, I love you all. I appreciate you guys coming today, and I'll see you guys next week. Avant?
Thanks to the listeners. This has been a fun ride for us so far. This is like the first real streaming I've done in like ever. So I've had a good time hanging out with the Scoundrels and all of our different guests. And big thanks to Ranger for coming on tonight. It's been a good couple weeks for the Scoundrels, and I look forward to some more talks with y'all.
And hit the fucking button.
Hit the
that too.
button. And in closing, I will piggyback on that. I have to agree. This is a great show. Thank you to all that support us, that do subscriptions and keep listening to us every week. We love you. Thank you. It's outstanding. Ranger, again, thank you for your time. And everybody, good night. Keep plugging away. Keep grinding, because we all love what we do. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
See you guys next week.
Good night.